You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
Represents Israel. They confuse us with so much lies. Not even thinking that we would realize. And if we criticize, we could be ostracized. We don't know who to trust. That's why I say, Lord, please listen to this prayer that comes from before. Please send us another Moses again. Oh, we just can't go on this way. Please deliver us today. Time to make them oppress us stay. So we children could see their way. Make them get on their knees and pray. Never be up to touch them day. Just can't make it this way. Please deliver us today. We like the Israelites doing day. Please send us another Moses again. Lord, we just can't make it this way. Yes, deliver us today. Oh, we just can't go this way. No, we just can't make it this way. Please listen to what I say. Yes, hurry up with Judgment Day. We just can't make it this way. No, we just can't make it this way. Must we get old and gray? And the children can't see their way. Oh, we just can't make it this way. Oh, we just can't make it this way. We like the Israelites living day. Please send us another Jesus again. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh.
I tell myself, look here, boy, shorty, time to do something for your country. By opening a political party, time for you to make the decision at the next general election and join the leaders of our nation. When I read them Sunday newspapers with all them cussing cuss neighbors, I tell myself I am a person. Selvin cudgel like he joined the line. Martin Daly cussing the behind. And I'll correct for mine and I change my mind. Cause I find everybody got a new thing. They think cussing the PNM. Find an anthem. If you only come a problem, cussing the PNM. I saw reasoning in danger, building the house near the water. And you see them, you see it body water. Go down, cowie down to ambush them. You can run them in people and them. Still they cussing the PNM. It's only kites on them from the review friend who not cussing the PNM. Sweet music. am no privy to no party. I am not for what's in you crowd. I am representing to be ANR and Panda. When you see them later, they had a few husbands down here. But since Brooklyn and Nine, I think all of them is cutting right. Even what they say in lie. And on the TV and the radio, man call it from fighting my arrow to cuss rowdy good pen in Tobago. Everybody out of seeds, rust and brandy, cussing the PNM. And tame the system, bringing home and mayhem, but cussing the PNM. Like people on the road in danger, and keeping all your guns cover. Anytime you see him iron it, government had to change laws to stop them, but keeping your boat and proper pen, cause they cussing the PNM. It's only cats on them like they be and them who not cussing the PNM. Sweet music. School children fighting is the problem. Up in mayhem, around mayhem, everything is a big problem. We hunt them and fuck them. Everything might be the problem, but they still cussing the PNM. Even if you off the water, man fighting with the pipeline water, cussing up all in the war. And on the street, you know me, if you see people fighting, you see, fighting because of the UNC. Everybody from the country to Brandy, cussing the PNM. Hail and hearty, even the sickly, cussing the PNM. I'm down. Everybody fighting to get them. Nobody burning and even remember and hate this. They come down and no women, but they cussing the PNM. It's only 30 of them who not cussing the PNM. Gonna give you a special verse. So go with that music. Take the THA in Tobago. What will they do them? I don't know. But they only cussing the man for so. Take petrol train down in Sando. Government give them house and land for so. Yet they treated him like a whole hole. Million they spend getting to fight COVID-19. But they refused and cost the vaccine. The family was in Jerusalem. Property tax was not a problem. Yet Annie Roberts was in PNM. Everybody from town to Grandy, cussing the PNM. Even Cause she brother already. Now she cussing me PNM. Deep and live and arranger.
Going to be
fighting it forever.
It's going to be singing Flight of My People. Make some noise for Lady Gypsy.
No plight of my people. Too much a one thing, good for nothing. Too much a good thing, never enough. I don't know why my black people cannot see. No party never care about we. Every election we so devoted. How we love up with PNM. As soon as election come and go, it's only problem after problem. How could we cope? Man lost the hope. I ain't seeing no solution. Every time PNM come in power, it takes a toll on black man. I don't want to sound like a racist, but this is what I can see. They just take care of the race, but they damn well know they have we. I want to ring my bell, wake up Eric Williams. Tell him the party found him PNM needed immediate attention. Ring my bell, wake up Mother Cornhawks. Tell she to cast a spell on we party, not what it used to be. I ring my bell, ring my bell. I ring my bell down there. I ring my bell, ring my bell. I ring my bell down there. This thing is becoming out of hand. It's time this damn nonsense stop. If you don't sing a PNM song, from Skinner Park you'll be dropped. Calypsonian could have sing what they want. We were the spokesman for the people. Eric Duffy, Chambers Dunphy. When Kamala drunk, how she like to pee. Calypsonian, no, that's no way to go. Too much happening in we country. All this killing spree, young woman body, but only about PNM you could sing. All them songs playing on the radio, all you singing with Kamala too. But when PNM do a wrong thing, I ain't hearing a word from you. I want to ring my bell, wake up Mother Cosell. Every Monday she preach on WAC radio and is the biggest critic of Calypso. Ring my bell for Patsy and Joni. I want them two cultural lovers to know not only PNM song is Calypso. I ring my bell, ring my bell. I ring my bell down there. I ring my bell, ring my bell. I ring my bell down there. Crime will never stop in this country once black people belly empty. How could a man work in CPEP, maintain his whole family? All you say the past regime was so bad, so much wrong thing they done to we. Now that PNM take over, why poor people going hungry? When PNM win, all African grin. Now we get back we country. All they doing is complaining and ain't doing nothing for we. The mess already made, don't sit in the shade and ponder on we problem. Get off your ass and do it fast and find a way to solve them. I want to ring my bell, wake up Randolph Burrows. Tell him among all past police commissioners, up to now it he I prefer. Ring my bell, wake up the Lord Bryna. Tell him the state of Calypso today is a good thing he passed away.
get up one morning, your elders have something. You don't know how they get it, but you want to use it. But if you ask them old people to get the things what they went through, ask them this any day, and your parents sure to say, black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. Make up your mind, brother, that you're able to get a pulley and jam with the devil wife. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. Make up your mind, brother, that you're ready to swim offshore and hold your boat steady. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. So when you're here, you get a little something. With that dragon, now you keep watching, because I don't tell you already. Black man don't get nothing easy. You get up one morning, and oil money running. How it come you don't know, so that it care how the thing go. But if they read about Uriah, they wanna find out the pressure. How we get so much old hell to get a penny from TLL. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. You got to take up your own gas money, pay people for your own refinery. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. Make up your mind to be a magician, to make money out of scrap iron. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. So when you're here, you get a little something. With that eagle eye, you keep watching, because I don't tell you already. Black man don't get nothing easy. Say we got up one morning, independence happening, getting the thing come easy. Now they're taking liberty, but if they know about petition, we are to send to England for some woman to tell we in this colony free. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. You got to go to conference in England to get independence in your own land. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. People hold you, humiliate you, turn on and sell you, and then they free you. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. So when you're here, you get a little something. With that dragon, now you keep watching, because I don't tell you already. Black man don't get nothing easy. So when a black man gets something, he got to start thinking to get it there easy. He got to practice economy, from getting licks from the slave master to become the land owner. Brother, it's a terrible journey, packed with plenty brutality. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. You got to rise up, you got to stand up, make up your mind, you will always stay on top. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. You got to go to conference in England to get independence in your own land. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. You got to take up your own cash money, pay people for your own refinery. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. Make up your mind to be a magician, to make money out of scrap iron. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. You got to go to conference in England to get independence.
Keep me as the apple of thine eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wing. O Lord, my Savior. It's so hard to deal with personal struggle. It's so sad when you feel alone in your trouble. It's real hard you want to talk to a brother, it's so bad because of how some look at you after. So Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover my head. Satan want me dead. Cover my back from human attack. So Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. People see you smile, but don't know the hurt that you're feeling. Even as God's child, at times your heart does be bleeding. Where can you go when you're really looking for healing? Who know how to flow when your soul needs some restoring? So Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me home from evils unknown. Cover my feet so I'll never retreat. Oh Lord, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover my brother. Cover my sister. Them who under pressure. Cover the preacher, every church worker, the young believer. Cover the worship leader and intercessor, every gospel minister. Cover. Jesus alone is the one who has the real answer. The one on the throne is the true and loving Father. He will hold your hand and keep you from going under. He will make you stand and let you know he's a fixer. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me mind. You know the struggle sometimes. Cover me mouth, that the wrong thing wouldn't come out. Oh Lord, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover the Christian in the midst of aggression with the power of your right hand. Jesus, cover them helpless children. Jesus, defend them. Send help from heaven. Jesus, cover all them radio stations that blessing the nation. Grant divine protection. Jesus, cover me.
Truer words were never spoken. The less you associate with some people, the more your life will improve. Anytime you tolerate mediocrity in others, it increases your mediocrity. An important attribute in successful people is their impatience with negative thinking and negative acting people. As you grow, your associates will change. Some of your friends will not want you to go on. They will want you to stay where they are. Friends that don't help you climb will want you to crawl. Your friends will stretch your vision or choke your dream. Those that don't increase you will eventually decrease you. Consider this. Never receive counsel from unproductive people. Never discuss your problems with someone incapable of contributing to the solution, because those who never succeed themselves are always first to tell you how. Not everyone has a right to speak into your life. You are certain to get the worst of the bargain when you exchange ideas with the wrong person. Don't follow anyone who's not going anywhere.
With some people you spend an evening. With others, you invest it. Be careful where you stop to inquire for directions along the road of life. Wise is the person who fortifies his life with the right friendships. If you run with wolves, you will learn how to howl. But if you associate with eagles, you will learn how to soar to great heights. A mirror reflects a man's face, but what he is really like is shown by the kind of friends he chooses. The simple but true fact of life is that you become like those with whom you closely associate, for the good and the bad. Note, be not mistaken. This is applicable to family as well as friends. Yes, do love, appreciate, and be thankful for your family, for they will always be your family, no matter what. Just know that they are human first, and though they are family to you, they may be a friend to someone else and will fit somewhere in the criteria above. In prosperity, our friends know us. In adversity, we know our friends. Never make someone a priority when you are only an option for them. If you are going to achieve excellence in big things, you develop the habit in little matters. Excellence is not an exception. It is a prevailing attitude.
It have our place, WZYE, where they treat you like friends and family. So if you're looking for a place to belong, going WZYE, you could come along. If you have haste, do come with me. We do have dad on WZYE, Santa Meditate.
Tommy, are you there?
Yeah, I'm now hearing you, but
Okay,
before I was
yeah, that was me. Somehow my microphone got muted. Let me say a special welcome to no other than the one and only, the commissioner from Newark, the man from Palaseco, where in a local government election, they're going to renovate the Palaseco Velodrome. I don't know. Some people say it's political gimmicks. Some people say it's politics. I don't know. I don't know. When Tommy comes in, he's going to tell us. No other than the man from Serbia, by way of Marabella, on his way to Palaseco Government Secondary School. The man who went to school with top journalist Andy Johnson, no other than Thomas E. Marshall Nisbet Boy. Tommy, welcome.
Yes, indeed. I'm happy to be in the village. Little problems with my device. I hope to get to my real device before sooner than later, so to speak. But it's a pleasure being here in the village tonight again, as usual.
Nah, man. Well, you know, once it working, once it up and running, you can't ask for nothing more.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to switch from this device though because it's not comfortable.
Nah, no problem, man. No problem, man. No problem at all. So, Tommy, I was just saying, right? And in a few minutes, we're gonna go to the chat. You know, in my estimation, I will put Karen Nunez-Tesheira against anyone today in that PNM cabinet. Manos a manos, anyone. And I can guarantee you, she will hold her half without a problem, with no problem. Easy. What do you say?
Of course, she is extremely competent. Plus, she's experienced too.
Extremely competent. I like that word, Tommy. I like that. You
She's
understand?
proven.
Yeah, and PNM people say, "Oh, I thought she resigned long time. We ain't miss nothing. That is not breaking news." Of course, it's breaking news that Karen Nunez-Tesheira is resigning from the PNM. That's breaking news.
Absolutely.
They may not like it. They may not like it. And sometimes to me, boy, it don't seem like PNM people like anything good. Sometimes I just wonder, like they don't like nothing good. They don't like good things, really. You understand?
You know, it is how they were socialized is the issue. And I was really thinking about it deeply and saying, you know, it's amazing that most societies mature politically, but the maturity in our society in Trinidad and Tobago is long and coming.
Tommy, you see the video I put out, right, with the 26.3% of people living below the poverty line in Trinidad and Tobago, right?
Right.
You know, and somebody said to me, she said, Anselm, I don't know why the people asking me, what's my source? When I get them the source, Tommy, right? The young lady, she trying to find it, right? But she not that quick on the draw, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Right.
She not that quick on the draw. She couldn't find it. She couldn't find it, right? And then I give she the World Bank. I give her next one I give her a little homework to go and do as well. I said, do you know the World Bank? They have ranked the top 10 countries in the Caribbean with black people living below the poverty line, and Trinidad and Tobago is number 8. World Bank, eh? I'm making it up. World Bank. She couldn't find it. Hear what she said? You know, I went and I looked. It have 250 something pages. Why don't tell me what page it on?
Wow.
Oh God, Tommy.
Interesting.
Yeah, she look and says 250. So Tommy, whatever it is, she found it, right? Right?
Absolutely.
If she could say it's 250, she finds something, but she couldn't figure out where it is. So she want me to tell her now what page it on. Just imagine that. Eh? Tell you what page it on. Look.
And spoon feed her.
You spoon feed teaspoon teaspoon feeder. Right? No, I'm not spoon feeding them. Go and look for it. World Bank says that we, Trinidad and Tobago, are number 8 in the Caribbean for black people living below the poverty line. Of of course, Haiti is number 1, right? Yeah, and Tommy, the thing about it is that why don't we think about what are ways we can reduce that number so we have less of them living below the poverty line? How about that? Why don't we find a solution to fix that?
What's also painful is that we were endowed with so many natural resources that if managed and used efficiently and effectively, there'll be absolutely zero poverty.
Yeah.
Because at one point there was a talk going around. I think it came from the political directorate at the time that everybody can be given $1 million. Every citizen can be given $1 million, and still we'll be in good shape.
And that's what it is, Tommy. It's very simple. Find solutions to our problem rather than try to find problems to our problem. Right? Dinah, welcome.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Hey, Storm.
I heard they're giving away $1 million to Trinidadians. I have my birth paper,
No. We were saying that it was once said that even if you give everyone $1 million, at that particular point in our history, that we still will be okay.
Well, I still want my Trinidadians. Well, I want my $1 million.
Okay.
I know they had that. I know they had that talk. I could take my million TT dollars right now.
Mm-hmm.
How much US that is? 100,000?
Well, it's not to be spent abroad. It's to be spent in Trinidad.
Now I need to know how much. I mean, not to be spent abroad. You gave me $1 million and tell me where I had to spend it to.
I mean, you're getting it because you're living in Trinidad.
Hello. I'm getting it because of something called reparation. I could do what I want with it.
Okay, well, reparation is another story.
Also, they owe me money for reparation too. All right. Yes. Okay. So I want who we supposed to go after for the $1 million? Dr. Rowley or Imsbert? Who?
Anyway.
What happened to me? You answer my question. You're running. What happened? Who was supposed to go and get me $1 million from?
Anyway, all I was saying is that a statement was made at one point that everybody could have gotten $1 million in Trinidad's economy, and it'll be still okay.
So let me ask you something. Let me do something. 40 million to develop. Where is the answer? Remind me now. The velodrome down in South?
I remember the Palaseco velodrome.
Okay. What happened to the Arima velodrome? That breakdown, that outer sorts. What happened to that? That don't have the same amenities as Palaseco velodrome?
I think it was being maintained last I remember.
So why not take how many people they have in Trinidad? 1 million something? Why not take 1 million out of the 40 million and give to the citizens?
I don't know.
Okay, I don't talk. Use the ID card, the birth paper, the passport, whatever, and they have to have an account that you can track that you did receive a deposit of $1 million. Why are we spending $40 million on something on this ballot when they already have it? Take $1 million out of that and give the $1 million out of 40. Them go feel that answer.
Well, the days for that gone long time. They don't have that money no more.
Take $1 million each and get you have to have a bank account though.
At one point in time we could have done that, but I don't think we can do that anymore.
What do you mean you can't do that anymore?
No, I don't have the money to do that.
And I see the waving trinket. They went and they paved some road somewhere quick. Some fella complain. And I see they giving out Petrotrin workers land again close to Monday. Tell you, boy.
I mean, the people allow these things to happen and continue to do the same thing and expect to get different results. I mean,
who they really fooling Ansel? When you gonna resign from the PNM?
Who's on me? I good.
You're not resigning? Oh, okay.
I good. A lot of people tell me they're waiting for me to resign.
Yeah, you resigned. That was send a resounding message.
Listen, I don't follow. I've never been a follower in my life. That's why I was captain of the track and field team at Seton. No, they consider me a leader. That's why they name me captain.
And
so,
I was never a follower, but I had to fall in line because there were people there I was working under. But working on the persons, I still remain my number one capacity.
Well, I wasn't talking about you, I was just
no, I'm just saying. No, I know you're not, but you can still remain number one capacity and you're not a follower. Right?
I just feel that when I look at the way things happen, people are asking me, well, Wall Street, where's your source? We want your source. And I ask them, I say, when Dr. Rowley go up on a platform and he tell you the sky green, you just ask him where is the source when you regurgitating the sky green? All let us go and look for any source. So I tell them, I say, go and look for the source for yourself. Do some work.
What you mean, pepper sauce or tamarind sauce?
Must be pepper sauce, tamarind sauce, or maybe what is that one, boy? Sauce what that fella sing about? What that fella sing the sauce song?
Kuchila.
All wrong there. Remember you sing a sauce? Garlic sauce. Yes, garlic sauce. Yeah. We anything. And the thing about it is that when you bring information to the black PNM people, I talking about the black PNM people, it's like they're oblivious state. They're oblivious. They don't want to hear it. Why are black people predominantly the highest amount of people in when you raise in Trinidad and Tobago below the poverty line? And let me say this. Right? Let me say this. There is no other race in Trinidad and Tobago. Only the Indians and the blacks can elect a political party when you go to the voting booth. 2, Indians and blacks. The Syrians cannot do it. The Chinese cannot do it. They don't have enough people in Trinidad and Tobago in order to have an impact on an election. Let me repeat that.
Speak slowly to it.
Huh?
Speak slowly to PNM people you're talking to.
All right, let me speak slowly. The only people can elect a party in Trinidad and Tobago is either the Indian or the blacks. No Syrian can do it. It's I'm estimating here, there's about maybe 5,000 Syrians in Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm not sure of the number with respect to the Chinese. They cannot have an impact on going into the voter booth and electing a party. However, they can go to the bank and bring finance into the party and have an effect that way. If the black people decide not to vote for the PNM cannot win an election. And I would say the same thing for the UNC. If the Indian people decide not to vote for the UNC cannot win an election. Yet, them same black people who continue to vote for the PNM, and let me tell you this, 66 2/3 of the constituency that have never forsaken the PNM are the most dilapidated and economically disadvantaged communities in Trinidad and Tobago. Now you all go say, where will she get that from? 66 and 2/3? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me repeat that. 60. Let me go solo here. I want to go solo with this, right? Let me say this to the black people of the PNM. 66 and 2/3 of the constituencies that have always voted for the PNM never voted for another party, and is predominantly black, are the most dilapidated and economically disadvantaged constituencies in Trinidad and Tobago. Let me repeat that for you all. 66 and 2/3% of the constituencies. 66, I'm going to go slower. 66 and 2/3% of the communities that have never voted for another party and have voted for the PNM all their lives and is predominantly black are the two most dilapidated and economically disadvantaged communities in Trinidad and Tobago. You know what? I want you, black people in the PNM, to go and figure out exactly what I'm speaking about. So let me repeat it before I go. The two most 66 and 2/3% of the constituencies that have never forsaken the PNM have always voted for the PNM year after year after year after year. They put in a vote in the PNM bank. Election come, local government election come, they put the vote in the PNM bank. General election come, they put the vote in the PNM bank. Those 66 and 2/3 constituencies are the most dilapidated and economically disadvantaged constituencies in Trinidad and Tobago. Why is that?
They say the total population is estimated at 40% black, 40.3% East Indian, 18% mixed, 0.6% white, and 1.2% Chinese and other.
Okay. So watch it. You see? So So the black people in Trinidad and Tobago don't understand their weight. They don't understand it because we are at the bottom of the economic ladder. Let me go to the chat real quick here. Nadia was in first. Nadia, good night to you and blessings. Nadia says, Anselm, good night. Yeah, Nadia gives some red, blue, purple, green emojis. Yeah, Nadia. Nadia says, Tommy, good night. Tommy.
Good night, Nadia.
Yeah, Tommy boy. Nadia. Tommy.
Yes.
Nadia, give me some colors there, boy. All right, nah.
Nadia would never stop being a sweetheart.
I was worried about them colors for a little bit there, you know. But I ain't going there. Nadia says good night to Takesha, Judy, Lana, Rose, Denise G, Pizza, Miss Coover, good night. Yeah. Nadia says good night to Rennie Mohammed, Albert, Ken, Vonnie, John, Hailey, Ellis, Troy, Ulrich, Richard. Who's Richard? Oh, Richard Ramup, yeah. Hey, look, Troy Smith come, yes? Troy Smith, get back your phone, boy. Who's Troy Smith? Wife again? That's not a keyword, that's Anderson. Troy Smith is Kizzy, right? Yeah. Kizzy's Troy Smith. Kizzy's Troy Smith. Yeah. Troy Smith, welcome. Kizzy get Troy Smith back your phone finally after all these weeks. Poor thing. Well, we glad you get it back, go Troy. Don't worry yourself. You're inside. Yeah? Yeah, Troy Smith said, bless the Nadia. He says to Keisha, bless, good night, sis. Love in the house, strength and guidance. Hey,
Nadia, tell me good night, but that's okay, Nadia.
Look, we partner from Mississippi coming early tonight, boy. Albert Montano.
I'm going to give away Stormy. You know.
Good evening, Ansem and Diana. Now, I want to think.
I'm giving away Stormy, your boyfriend.
Yeah. Welcome. Always say welcome to Nessie. I think this is the first time Nessie has joined us.
Who?
Nessie.
Welcome to the village, Nessie.
Yeah, Nessie's family. I showed eyes Nessie. Nessie says, please continue to agitate the RPNM to think. Remind them that they have God-given brain cells and connection. Oh God.
What we need is all the people to think. All the people to just think. That's all they have to do.
Psychic muscle.
Yeah. Mean Jean. Oh God. Mean Jean was in at 7:14, boy. What? What, boy? Whoever I did last time work. Whatever. Mean Jean, welcome. You're inside, boy. What acts? Curtis Monteshad, boy. Me through my Kenyan friend. Hey, Curtis. They're fixing up building too, boy. Yeah, boy. We in a gear. We in a gear up and we in a gear in Chumaka. We in a gear. Yeah. Vonnie said good night to all locked. I take in a bit of UNC meeting. I go lock on and off at times. Yeah, boy. I hear Gary talking. I hear Jack talking. I hear everybody talking, boy. PNM have a meeting tonight too, right?
Well, this is crunch time, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, Philip have meeting tonight too. He's supposed to come.
Oh, okay. Good night to the ladies, Nadia, to Keisha, June, Hailey, and the powerful Storm, boy. Yeah, boy? Okay, so Davidson says all the farmers could form a party. No, but the farmers link up with Pep. They link up with that fella side. What is his name? Hailey. They link up at Hailey party. Bonnie said, why is it that Port of Spain, Diego Martin will continue to be voting PNM when the areas have no improvement for years? Nah, they have had some improvement, man. Not like Lavantel. They have no improvement. No, let me just say no improvement. The improvement in Mova Lavantel East and Lavantel West, right? Boy, I just feel to cry when I go back there. I don't know why they still have failed jail lines up there. I don't know why. I don't know if they could fire MP in midterm, you know. You could fire MP in midterm. You could remove an MP in midterm. I don't think so, you know. But he should have been removed long time. Highly inside. Yeah? I think Arnold John joining us for the first time. Arnold John, welcome. Trinidad Margo, boy. Pep having a rally tonight, I hear too, you know. Okay. Leon, are you hearing the audio now? Albert Montano said there is no sound. How is that? Yeah?
I had to change my device. I couldn't get any audio on my laptop. That's why I went to my handset, my telephone.
Okay. Are we getting volume now? Hold on, let me look and see. At that time, you was getting no volume.
Let me see on my laptop if I'm gonna get any volume.
Passad, are you getting volume? Albert, are you getting volume now? Are you getting song now? I think that was earlier. Yeah. Vonnie say he consider Lavantel as Port of Spain also. No. Oh, all right. Nessie says second time coming in. Anson, why don't you switch? We're gonna go for a quick station identification. Why don't you switch on live when Jack Warner comes in to speak? Only a suggestion. You'll tell we now, Vonnie. Capiza says, Walls, Tommy, all you want African people to dead if all you get them $1 million? What Capiza does talk about sometimes? Oh, but you know what? I want to come back. I want to address this. Albert says, how do you expect the black population to understand what a PNM education? I want to address this PNM education thing.
Albert!
So, folks, stick and stay. We're going to go for a quick station identification. And when we come back, our guest is already sitting in the background. We will be right back. It's in the village with the DAG Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. Stick and stay. We'll be right back after this short message.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey. The most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
Back at you. It's in the village with the DAG Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. We come to you every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. That's Tuesday and Thursday from Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. So you know what, folks? We're not going to wait any longer. Let's bring our guest in. She's always on time. You know, no other than Mrs. Karen Nunez-Tesheira. Karen, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Angela. How are you, Diana and Marshall? How is everyone? And of course, the diaspora in Brooklyn and elsewhere. Happy to be with you again this evening.
You know, Karen,
Good evening. I'm incognito for several reasons, but nice to see you.
Thank you very much.
you know, it's always a pleasure. Leon, thank you. Denise, thank you. Loud and clear. Karen, it's always a pleasure. I see you have a splendiferous smile. You know, you look well. You look well rested and like you look well rested. Like like you went to the who's that fella again, boy? Tommy, what's his name? Elon Musk. You look like you went up at the
I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah. But Karen, how are things going with you and the grandkids?
Oh, wonderful. Actually, they were here today, but sometimes you love them, but you're happy to see them. Bye-bye. See you later. But I absolutely love my grandchildren. So it will always be good.
I know how important that is to you.
It
when
is.
you look at your grandkids. I've been telling my son, I don't know what you're waiting for. Your daughter's still a little young.
The right woman.
You know what it is? I think you're right. I think you're right.
The right woman. You don't want your son with the wrong woman. Trust me. Mothers because mothers, generally speaking, really have more say, if you can say, with regard to the upbringing of children up to a certain age. So generally speaking, you want to make sure that the mother that you choose that your son chooses is one who is consistent with the values that you have and your family has, because otherwise you're looking for a whole heap of trouble.
I hear you, but I mean, I find that a little kind of hard, boy, because if the mother, if he's trying to emulate his mother, it mightn't be easy, because it's 34 years of marriage, so you know that. But
but I think the choice of a wife when it comes to grandchildren. And luckily, I have a good relationship with my. But I have to say, I'm not really my in-law anymore because things may not have worked out. But certainly, she was here up to today. And that's how it should be, everything in the interest of the grandchildren. And that's how I approach it. And that's how it's been working. And, I'm happy that both of us and have the maturity to do that. And also look at the children's interests as being foremost rather than getting into other kinds of factors. So the mother is important. Who he chooses as the mother of his children will be important to you too. So let him take his time.
Yeah. No, he's still young.
Let him take his time.
I think that people have this $1 million question, and we're going to get to the $1 million question first. Then we're going to get to the $1 billion question at the end. Here's the big question. What are the main reasons that led you to resign from the PNM after being a member for such a long time?
Oh, well, it's like in anything. I could compare it to a job. I could compare it to a marriage or any other relationship. People suddenly say, well, how come your things are going so well? How come you're getting divorced? Or how come I thought you liked your job so much? How come you're leaving a job? But you didn't realize that there are a lot of things perhaps that were under the surface that perhaps concerned you, and they became even more so as time went by. And you then realized that you could, as a person, with you could no longer continue to maintain that relationship, whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship, and in my case, a political connection. I think the not only the leadership, but there's so much more to it that I, unfortunately or fortunately, have served in cabinet with many of the major players, and or know some of them, and I have maybe an insight perhaps that has influenced me in a way. Perhaps if I did not have that inside sort of insight, for want of a better word, may not have spurred me to make a decision I know that I had to make.
So your decision was made. Did you send it via email? Did you go down to Bali's house and drop off a letter? How was that?
My Balize house is temporarily closed. So that in itself was quite a challenge for me to. They need to do something about their contact information, because that was very, 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 very challenging. Balize house, it says, is temporarily closed. And then finding the current headquarters, which I finally got from somebody after trying on my own several times, was then I realized I knew it was in enterprise owners, but for mailing purposes, I didn't know what it was. So to answer your question, I sent it by registered post, and I also emailed my resignation and pointed out that I had done it both ways because I recognized that it maybe perhaps the post may take a little longer than the email will. And I also sent out a copy of the letter of resignation to the media houses so that they are aware of my decision.
So, as we stand currently, have you heard from any of the leadership or anybody from the party membership reacting towards your resignation?
Well, I've heard from the media, and I've done interviews with the media as I'm doing with you now. So I guess you're going to, that will be in tomorrow's newspaper, I expect. And with regard to the party membership, I'm not quite sure if anyone wants to be associated with me. I wouldn't blame them, because for the very same reason that I left, you know what I mean? You feel there's a sense of bullying and intimidation that pervades the current PNM leadership. And I think for those reasons, among others, that people would want to stay clear of being seen to associate themselves with me, because I do believe that calls can be tapped. I do believe they can listen into your conversation, and I just don't want to take that chance. And in any event, messages can be forwarded. So I recognize and understand if there are persons who support what I have done, understand what I've done. I don't think it is in their interest to make that known publicly, because they're taking a risk. They're taking a risk that I might say something. They may take a risk that I might forward what they've said. They're taking a risk that they shouldn't, that I would not feel that they should take. I think they're in an environment where intimidation and bullying is the order of the day, and I don't think that anyone in the current cabinet, whether they agree with me or not, it would be foolhardy of them to reach out to me at this point in time.
You know, I heard bullying about once or twice there in that little paragraph that you stated there. When you say bullying, are you kind of saying that the bullying is coming from way up to top, way up at the top?
It comes from the leader. I mean, I'm not the only one that has said that. The language is one of aggression. The language is one of not only intimidation, but rather irritation, and it broke no argument, will not accept responsibility, I think. And it's just a general persona that the leader projects, and which his immediate soldiers, or whoever we want to refer to them as, have also adopted. It's not statesmanlike. It's not what we're used to with Mr. Manning. Mr. Manning certainly conducted himself in a certain manner that one could not accuse him of behaving in that manner. In fact, he referred to the leader as his, what was he call him, Rottweiler. But yeah, he did that in Parliament. I'm saying he did that in Parliament because he recognized was a talent that allowed him to remain the statesman that he saw himself as and wanted to be seen as, while allowing others to do what would probably be not appropriate for the leader to be seen to be doing. And unfortunately, the leader now is the person who acted as the Rottweiler, and that manner is very intimidating to a lot of people. It's a person who comes across as very angry and brooks no argument against what he says, and it's certainly not one that is statesmanlike, I would say.
Karen, when Dr. Rowley looks in the mirror, do you think he look at himself as a bully?
I don't know if he does that. I think that's just part of who he is, and I suspect what we're seeing now is Mr. Manning did say that. He did warn the country. He did say that when he gets angry and he does not get his own way, he's like a raging bull. Mr. Manning would have basis upon which to have made that statement, knowing him for over 30 years, because he and others, one Keith Subin has passed away, Colin Imbert, there was Ken Valley was part of that group of pioneers for new PNM dispensation. So he would have the ability to make that comment, and he made it in Parliament and said he's like a raging bull. And so if you're hearing that from your Prime Minister, who's describing one of his, I don't think he was a cabinet minister anymore, he was a backbencher. In any event, I don't have any reason to believe that characterization in a leadership position was not untrue. Was untrue, and perhaps he reveled in that, in being seen in that way. Maybe, I don't know. I can't really speak for Dr. Rowley. Dr. Rowley knows Dr. Rowley better than he has to. I don't know what the mirror is telling him. What I'm telling him is what the mirror telling him is not what we see.
But anyway, as far as you're concerned, I want to congratulate you on the ability and having the gumption to stand up and be who you are. As far as the future is concerned, what are you looking at? Are you looking at joining one of the existing?
Yeah, I've been asked that question. Let me just say that I'm certainly not going to, if I have concerns about this government, I would like to be able to say what brought me to this point, because I think it's important, and people not think that I just sat down one day and just decided. It took time for me to reach here, but I'm satisfied. Some of the things I can't say, because if I were to say them, I would get myself in a lot of hot water. And quite apart from any act of defamation, I just know that it wouldn't be unwise for me to say some things that I know. But the things that are in the public domain, they come fast and furious at us. And it has come fast and furious at us. This government, this is its second consecutive term. And I'm concerned, I've used the term, I've written an article, hopefully I'll finish it in time for it to be published within the next few days. I call it the battered wife syndrome, or the coercive control, which is what they call it in the United Kingdom, where a person begins very imperceptibly to exercise control, and always telling you it is in your interest and for your protection. And once a person feels he has or she has cemented his or her position as the perpetrator, then it becomes more brazen, it becomes more emboldened, and it then takes on a fast and furious and relentless barrage, where the recipient of it, which is usually the battered wife or spouse, then begins to feel a sense of hopelessness, a sense of helplessness, a lack of self-worth. Gaslighting is one of the things you would do. And then begins to wonder whether, their self-esteem and self-worth, and whether they are entitled or should be treated in the manner in which they're treated. And so if you're successful in doing that to the person or the individual, then they will then remain and continue to take that abuse. Or they hopefully will wake up, smell the coffee, open the door, and run, Forest, run. Because run, Forest, run. Because, and I say that because it's human nature. If you are in a relationship or a situation, whether it's political, personal, intimate, if over time that behavior seems to have been certainly not been challenged, or certainly seems to have been condoned by the fact that you went back and said, I'll keep you back, I'll keep you. That is voting in 2020. Then it emboldens that person. And then they feel free to not hide their agenda. And then they come out, and then they come out so fast and furious at you that you then begin to be feel that though as though you cannot, you are helpless, you are hopeless, you are numb, you are afraid to lash back because you will pay the consequences. And I'm going to give you the examples because I don't want to say that without saying what made me reach to that. There are many, 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 many examples, and they came fast and furious in a way that I don't think any other PNM administration, certainly under Patrick Manning, I've ever experienced what I have experienced. And I'll give you some of the examples. I can start with the Petrotrin closure. The Prime Minister said he was not closing. He's on record. There's a thing showing I am not closing Petrotrin. A few months later, and he also said in Vestini School, I'm waiting to sign on the dotted line. This is just 2 months before the election. Patriots, the former OWTU. I'm waiting to sign on the dotted line. Come on. And yet turn around and close down Petrotrin. Without a plan. That's Petrotrin. The Brent Thomas affair, which the High Court, I know it's gone to the Court of Appeal, but the High Court judge determined it amounted to an abduction because a plane from Trinidad left Trinidad's waters and airspace, landed in Barbados, and to my understanding, brought back against his own will Brent Thomas back to Trinidad in order to be charged. I don't know that is something that is in keeping with our extradition rules or laws, but it's certainly, as far as the High Court judge was concerned, amounted to an abduction. And yet the government has yet to explain that conduct. We also have our two attorneys general. The first one, Faisal Rawi, when he took it upon himself to instruct Mr. McIntyre, the head of the Law Commission, to prepare legislation without going through cabinet in accordance with the Constitution, where you have to have a cabinet note, a cabinet minute to give you that authorization. You cannot, and he did not, and he refused to do it. And he came to the cabinet with a note to go to the Judicial Legal Service Commission to have him disciplined for insubordination. When, if you go to the Parliament website, they tell you what the process is. He cannot take it upon himself to say what laws. It has to go through the cabinet. It's the cabinet. And yet he paid no price for it except moving him over to another ministry when that should not have been the results. The next Attorney General, Reginald Armour, in a matter concerning airports, giving a statement which is evidence in chief. It's as if he stood up in an evidence box and gave evidence. And as far as the lower court and the Court of Appeal of Miami found that what he said was untrue and he could not be a witness in the case. How disgraceful. And he is not punished. The local government elections. Imagine there is a legislation that says the term is for 3 years. And yet you want to take it upon yourself without going through Parliament to extend the life of another year because you got so much licks in the Tobago elections. And the Privy Council by majority decision had to let you know that it is not for the government, but for the Parliament to change the laws. Imagine that. And that's in local government elections. this is what. Then we have Erla Christopher, which I have nothing against the Commissioner of Police, but she falls into the category of a Commissioner of Police or Deputy Commissioner. And under our 2006 amendment to our Constitution, any extension of her service beyond 60 years is not covered, in my understanding, by the Police Service Act because she falls under the category of a commissioner of police, and that remains under the purview of the Police Service Commission, which is stated in our Constitution. Yet the government goes and gives her an additional year without going to Parliament. Then we look at the I am no supporter of Gary Griffith, by the way, but when the Police Service Commission chair takes the merit list to the president of our republic, and when it is admitted that the prime minister was there at the time when the list was handed to the president, who under our constitution cannot say the list was immediately drawn. She cannot give it back. She has no authority to give it back. She has already said she operates within the four walls of the Constitution. Her responsibility at that point in time was to prepare notification for Parliament. Yet, with the presence of the Prime Minister, it seemed that he, who had made it openly clear before that he did not support Gary Griffith, the chairman of the Police Service Commission took back the list. How could that be? How could that be considered to be part of a democratic republic? All of these things must give you pause to wonder what is going on in our country, where we have a government that shows absolutely the procurement legislation. That procurement legislation, they have emasculated it into nothingness. I don't know if many people knew. I certainly have to blame myself that I did not know that until April of this year, much of the provisions, the critical provisions, had not been proclaimed, which means they were not implemented. And they did that in April, and after having done that, went back to the Parliament and they emasculated the law so that it is a nothing law. It is a nothing law giving the minister the authority to not go to the regulator when a contract is under $1 million. I could go on and on. And they did that with the procurement law. And this is the same prime minister with cold heart who said that he could not support Kodak because there was no accountability. The procurement legislation in its preamble says the purpose of the legislation is for accountability, transparency, and value for money. You have emasculated that legislation into nothingness. The law, there are so many examples, and they're hitting you fast and furious, like a battered woman before she could get up to respond, hitting you with something else, hitting you with something else, hitting you with something else. And so it has left the country with no other choice but to get relief and reprieve from this government. We've got to get some breathing space. We cannot look at this situation just in its narrow context. We are talking about nation building. And in the nation building, you go through all kinds of ups and downs, and we're going through a down. And this is for the country to stand up and say, we are not going to be that battered woman who's going to lock that door and take another 5 years because we ain't riot yet. Because we ain't riot yet. We have to open that door, regroup, and understand that another 5 years, if they are showing you who they are, cockroaches and termites that they call you, if they are showing you who they are,
and patterns,
we've got to get a break from them.
Karen, every word you're saying is true. But do you really believe that the majority of the population are awake and conscious enough to do what's right at this particular time?
Well, all you can do is do your best. I did history at A levels, so, but I've always been a person who followed history and looked at people like C.L.R. James, Amy Césaire, Franz Fanon, all these people, C.L.R. James, Black Jacobins, all these people who have made a great contribution eventually to our development or national development and to the development of even of Africa. We have the Padmores of this world, we have the Harris, the Georges. So am I speaking in vain? Well, it's up to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, I understand to some extent people are afraid. They're afraid of being victimized. But there are many people who come up to me every single day, every single day. I will give you one little example of that. And I was really kind of surprised. I was at one of the malls, and this gentleman, you shouldn't stereotype people, but if one were to stereotype, it was an older man, looked, down on his luck, let's put it this way, and not from the more affluent parts of Trinidad and Tobago, let's put it that way. And he said to me, Mrs. Teixeira, gone with this group called Hope, which is the party which is going to do their launch soon. But that's not the point. He said to me, Mrs. Teixeira, since I'm 66 years of age, and since I'm a little boy, he's from Laventille, since I'm a little boy, I tote in water. And I'm 66 years of age, and I still tote in water. That's what people have done. What have they done? What have they done? All he does, and this is true, talk the talk and rough and raga. So people will, for them, but he's only not for them. Look at the facts, my people. Wake up, my people. Understand the bottom of the scale. You are there at the service of those who are of certain people, and you know how you are at the service of them? Because as long as you are CPEP and URP and you are not part of the entrepreneurial group in a society and you're not given a fair opportunity to succeed, as long as you are kept at the bottom, you will always be easy to recruit. And that, unfortunately, is where we find ourselves. But one of the things I just want to say, because I did a show with Kafra Carbon's son on Monday, and I talked about the Kingdom of Mali with the University of Timbuktu, which Mali had 51 universities at the time, and people or scholars from all over the world came there. I talked about Ghana and the whole Pan-African movement with Nkrumah, and of course, a lot of the people who contributed to Ghana were people from the Caribbean, who the Pan-African movement. I also spoke, and I was very, Franz Fanon, Black Skin, White Mask, Martinican psychiatrist who wrote The Wretched of the Earth. But his greatest fear of the white man is an educated black man. And the greatest fear, is for us to wake up and understand, put on the guns and pick up the books. Go and you pick up the books. And because many of us have shown it. I wish I had my list. I didn't bring it with me. But if I had my list, I know I would have you in shock. Because I would shock. I read Washington Post, the usual thing about peanut butter, the traffic light. Oh God, I'm tired hearing about those ones. The usual thing. But I went to a site and I said I didn't believe it. But they actually gave you the name of the inventor. The inventions, air conditioning, more. If I give you the list,
elevator, traffic light, the third rail on the train, the dryer, the ironing board. Go ahead.
Automatic transmission.
All of that, this young woman who the
GPS
system, and this lady, she's fairly young, who found a way to treat cataract. Person with cataract using laser. You see the inventions, and by the way, even the cotton gin, part of the reason why a lot of the blacks, especially in America, were not able to register their invention because they were property until 1868. And so property could not have an invention. So many times they had to do it through their slave master, who was a person. Historically, black universities, how did they come about? Not allow us into their universities. Tuskegee University is one of the top veterinary universities in the world. I mean, when you look at the contribution to Saint Louverture, you know that the reparations argument, do you know that in Trinidad, you know, they don't want you to say this. They got compensated for the slaves and that they lost, and they compensated by getting lands in I don't want to say the wrong places, but I know it's Cascade, Laventille, down the islands. I mean, about 5 or 6 areas they mentioned that they got compensated for losing their slaves. When about Toussaint Louverture, in order for them to allow him, that Bonaparte, who was fighting, they fight each other so much that they have to intermarry. You know, like the Queen related to Prince Philip, because all these Europeans ever did was fight each other for land and power. But we're not supposed to do that. Bastille Day that they celebrate as the great French Revolution. They could not do them things. So when I coming back to Toussaint Louverture, when Bonaparte, after fighting in the European whatever war he's fighting, and came to Haiti, he told them that they would get their freedom, but they had to pay billions of dollars because they gave over the loan to what is now Citibank. And the point about it isn't even how much they had to pay every year. Hundreds. Every year. They could not build a road, they could not build a school, they could not build a hospital, they could do nothing to develop themselves. And those French today cannot pay reparations, and they tell us we must not talk reparations when you got compensation for freeing me from being property to being a person.
And today they still at it. Look at Mali. Niger.
But you know, Rwanda now is one. I mean, now one of the most. I don't want to use the most advanced countries in Africa. They say what they're afraid of is what they did in the European Union, that the Pan-African movement will take off, because we recognize in the United States where you live that the persons that have the most degrees and have gone to the Ivy League schools are the Nigerians, even above the Asians. But you see, they want to keep you in mental slavery. They want you to sing and dance, because we sang and danced when we were slaves, you know. Remember that? And the first what we go, that thing they give golden when they give you an Oscar, Mommy from Gone with the Wind.
Yes, she wasn't allowed to come. She had to come to the back door.
Happy to be. I'm happy to be Mommy, and happy to be people white children. Okay? That's what they want us to continue with that nonsense. What they're most afraid of, as Frantz Fanon said, the white man is afraid of the black, educated black man. And understand. And our prime minister is this disgrace, because instead of putting the effort, if you use what they call the Gini coefficient to determine the spread of our what you call your gross domestic product, the money that you made for the year, the fiscal year, and see what percentage is in the hands of the 2 or 3%, it leaves nothing for those at the bottom, as he has to be ashamed of himself. Nobody's saying they can't have rich people, but what do you do for those at the bottom? What do you keep them there oppressed and depressed with no self-worth? And these same people go back and vote for you. They go back and vote for you, but you like the licks. Like
you have
Karen, no self-worth, you have no self-value. Listen to me. I have no skin in the game. I have nothing to benefit. They can say what they want about me. But you know what? I don't need anybody to validate me. I do not need to go in their house and be their friends. I do not need to go on the golf course and play golf. I do not need to go on a yacht to know who I am. I don't need that. I don't need validation. And I want nothing from them. And I want people in our country to understand you are being used.
That's right.
You are being used.
And abused.
And you are sitting down there taking party before your country and the next generation. Wake up. Wake up. Oh my God, I don't know how else to say it. Wake up. They can say what they want about me after this. What are they going to say? I'm not educated. I'm very educated.
Whoa.
Books.
They're gonna say that you're bitter, and I've already heard that already.
Okay, and I'm going to say this over and over again, and I'm going to say it, and I challenge them to say that I am not speaking the truth. I challenge them to tell me I am not speaking the truth. I had someone come in my very home where I am now and offer me a senatorship. And it's a person who could do that. And I told that person, no, thank you. I said, I cannot be part of the destruction of my people. They sent someone else. I've said this over and over again. I haven't changed the story. Listen, when you're lying, you have to remember what you said, you know. And I have to remember.
One slap, she using your quote.
Hotel. They sent someone else who I shall remain and said the same thing to me. I said, I can't do that, you know. And the person said to me, but Karen, what's the big problem? I mean, everybody's there. I said, well, guess what? The way my parents bring me up and the values I brought up with, I'm not going to be part of the destruction of my people. I'm sorry. If you could feel comfortable to have your eyes open and not know that what you are doing ultimately is to keep your people in a position of oppression and depression and lack of self-worth, if you are willing to do that, count me out. So they could say what they want. I told what's his name, the Minister of National Security. What's his name?
Fitzgerald.
All right. So I had liked before, but I don't know if you remember. He met me right there in Port of Spain at somebody's legal firm, and we used to talk real well. I mean, I didn't dislike him; he was always very pleasant. And I told him to his face, let him remember that, because I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. I told him the price of admission to the PNM party is too high, because if I have to bad talk Patrick Manning to get admission, those in the early days, to get into the PNM party, count me out. I could have, you don't think, you see who was inside there? Many people who served under Mr. Manning. What do you think they had to do? What do you think they had to do?
Betray him.
What do you think they had to do? Say, oh God, I mean, now it's too late for me because I really mean, but I said in the early days, what I had to do? All I had to do was say, look, I got a call from one of them. Oh, I won't say who it is because I need people to figure it out. But it was someone who I know didn't like me at all and who used to suck up to the Prime Minister. Oh my God, it was so disgraceful in cabinet. I mean, everybody committed how disgraceful it was. And she did not like me. That was for sure. The day or the second day after we lost, calling me in my home to try to battle the Prime Minister. And I won't say what the conversation is because then you'll be able to figure it out. And then...
We know it's a she, Karen. We know it's a she.
Ooh!
But I wouldn't say more than that. I'm sorry I even said it was a she. At the end of the day, they recognized that I was not joining the club. So don't you ever think, and they may say otherwise now, but don't you ever think that if I had said to the leader, because a lot of them did it and they succeeded in doing it, and many of them were against him originally. Many of them were. I know that, and they know I knew. So don't you think if I had just gone to the leader and said, listen, you know, I want to be part of the party of your leadership and, you know, whatever may I call and holding, I say, you don't think I could have been inside there? But I didn't even try because guess what? I wanted no part. I took my legs and went Barbados and lived in a one-bedroom studio apartment because my daughter was still at university. And at that time, well, I did. By the way, I have not got my money from the appellants so anyhow, as yet. So all of those who think I'm floating in money, you know, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I am comfortable enough. And I went off to Barbados and took my licks for 4 years. For 4 years, I took it because I absolutely will not be part of the destruction of the people of Trinidad. I will not, when I die, all of us going to die. All of us, whether you're agnostic, atheist, a believer, whatever you want to be, is one thing. Everybody, Jeff Bezos, everybody, Mr. Apple, he dead already. Everybody going to die. And when you have to face your maker, you have to say, you have to face what you have done, and you can't fool your maker. So me, I want my conscience as clear as possible when it comes to the politics of this country.
By the way, Karen, somebody wanted to clear your conscience. They said the person said in the chat it could be the Minister of Planning, the Minister of Housing currently. That's what.
Whoa!
No. Who's the Minister of Housing now? It's a man.
No, Robinson. Regis Robinson.
Oh, you mean Camille Robinson Regis, who had the temerity to take $140,000 in cash and go to another bank with it in cash? What sense does that make? Please, people, tell me. Does it make sense? Isn't there something called a wire transfer? Isn't there something called a banker's check? Why are you taking it in cash? And guess who cleared you? Faris Al-Rawi and the Prime Minister. That was the nature of the acquiring. And that, by the way, as you say that, between Faris Al-Rawi's in-laws, family, actually his in-law family, and the Minister currently of Energy, between the two of them, cumulatively 100 recusals from cabinet. Now, how they still in cabinet?
You know, but Karen,
something has to be wrong. It has to be Karen. Cabinet when decisions are being made. Something is not right.
Karen, here's my question that I asked, right? First of all, the first one I asked is that the PNM been in power the longest in Trinidad and Tobago. And Philip, I see you in the background. Give us a few more minutes. We're gonna pause Karen for a little bit, and we're gonna just bring in Philip for a short bit. Karen,
Alexander.
Yeah.
I have to say though, I must tell you, I have to admire him because he says some really.
All right, Karen, we could bring him in. You could bring him to join the discussion. We go have him join.
Remember, Ansel, he's out walking too, right? So
yeah, I know that.
Yeah, you should bring him in.
Let me bring in Philip.
Them hard. He said them hard.
Yeah. All right. So Philip.
Highly, look your guy. Highly, look your guy.
I'm gonna bring in Philip. Philip, how are you? Welcome to WZYE 95.9 FM. Philip.
Good evening to everybody. Let me turn up a volume here. Good evening, Karen, Nunez-Tesheira.
Good evening, Alexander. You have my respect.
Philip, let me say to you, right? Everybody know where I stand. And we have a person in our chat.
Standing there?
Yeah, get him.
Philip, no, we have two persons in our chat. We have to call them out. They are 100% supporters of PEP. And they have been loyal to In the Village with the DAG Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. And they have never forsaken us. Never. And they support you full 100.
100.
That's Highly and Trinidad Margo. And I have to call them out because they're support here. That's what you have to know. Right? In the village, we have all different people supporting different parties. You understand? And we just go at it, but we go at it very respectfully.
Very respectfully, yeah. Mr. Alexander, though, I say even if you don't win, I think you would make a good Minister of Public Works. Utilities, you will get things done. And you're not going to go and mash around and use the money wrong. I say, even if you don't win, Mr. Alexander, somebody give him the job as Minister of Works. Get things done.
Thank you very much.
Can I just interject? Because I have to give him back. I have to give him back to these things because somehow it comes on my food. One, the wildflower park. I mean, when I saw that, I actually said, I thought you actually went afterwards. You hit them hard. You said how many signs? I can't remember, 16 signs back to front. You saw the lights. You saw the pathway. You saw the Abu's private security passing around there. And you say, no, you get so many calls from people of color who ring you up to tell you that they come and tell them that is part of this. Oh, that belongs to us. And where your prime minister, he can't say a word. You give him good. And then I saw something where you got some of that to go. And I said, yeah, let me see them. Let me see if they're going to move you and move those people 100%. The next one I have to give you 100% for is that one with the buildings. You said something which I'm not going to repeat because I'm afraid of the consequences of directing exactly to one of the comments you made. But it did open my eyes, and I said, that is why. I just not going to say it because I don't want to get myself in too much trouble. But you give them licks, renting places. What you renting it for? Wasting money. You get Hannah, and you Hannah. I may not be a member of your party, but you have my respect and respect of many.
Thanks a lot for that. It means a lot. And yeah, it's been a fight. And like all of us who want a better Trinidad and Tobago, to the young lady who suggested that I be a minister of works in somebody else's government. If Trinidad only worked that way, the best would rise to the top and we would have been a functional country. But it doesn't work that way. The contract mafia dictates who sits where and does what, and we all live with the consequences. I mean, that's Trinidad. It's been Trinidad for a long time. Teshera could tell you that. It's a fact. That's our country. I mean,
but what's the answer, Philip? What's the answer? Because I just came from a meeting. I joined Hope. Let me be transparent because they said, Karen, when you go, just give a meeting, at least let them know you join Hope. Hope with Tim Hammersmith as the current political leader and so on. Because I really couldn't see I had many options, and I really think they stand for honest government. But how do you see?
You see, if I could say it to you, because Tim, Louis, Steve, friends of mine, we see eye to eye. We agree 100% more than we disagree. But the problem with Hope is it doesn't touch the ground, and they know that. They know it doesn't touch the ground.
That's
so
right.
It may replace the Tapia House movement as the intellectual. You know what I mean? Because we need that. We need at least some of that. But
I don't want to be part of Tapia. I don't want to be part of the Tapia. Didn't get into power. No, I don't. That's not my ambition.
Well, you see, now that's it. And I've said, you know, Timothy, he's washed his hands 100 times a day. Steve, he's a thinker. Louis is a doer. But what they form there, if it can't touch the ground, how does it go forward? So
we'll see how it goes.
We have to talk. If there is one political party that I will gladly sit down and talk with tomorrow, because as I say, we don't disagree. The issues that we stand for and against, you know, they mirror each other.
I hear you put up a big sign. You put up a big sign. All of that was the conversation. You put up a big sign. I say you don't take any money from the 1%. Oh God! Listen, listen to me. I'm not supposed to let the show so long, but I'm going to tell you.
I think
have my respect.
Karen and Philip, I want to say this. I think this is a splendiferous discussion. We really and truly have to do this again because I think, and Philip always talk about me and the PNM, but Philip doesn't. I know Philip know. I am one of the few individuals that has blasted the PNM 28-9.
Yeah, but
I want to tell you something, Ansel. People tell me every time I come on your show, I convert you away from the PNM a little more.
Philip, I'm gonna say this, it takes time. Look at Karen. Karen finally, listen,
Let's walk around Wildflower. I want to take a walk with you around Wildflower.
You can't beat people for their political past associations because out of that we all came. Let's be honest. If we sit down and we talk, if we sit down and we follow the UNC back into the NAR, back into the PNM, because the NAR born in the PNM. So when the ULF invested itself into the NAR and came back out to form Club 88, it came back out with political neophytes like Kamla Pasad-Misesa, whose only life was in the NAR. So she's a child of the PNM. And let's be honest, our political history cannot be divorced from that, the People's National Movement. My problem, and I've said this repeatedly, is that certain people have been allowed to dictate how the country runs, so that everybody doesn't get a chance.
True.
We're not getting a chance.
That's the right word, a chance.
We're not getting a chance. Education doesn't give everybody the same chance. Banking doesn't give everybody the same chance. The access to finance and foreign exchange, everybody don't have that. That's what we need to fix. It doesn't matter the name. It doesn't matter the 3 letters in front of your name of your political party. If you could put water in the tap, stop the flooding, give people hope and opportunity.
Income equality.
The opportunity to own a home. When people ask me, where's our crime plan? I say your crime plan is if you are successful at running the country, because Trinidad's crime is as a result of poverty and drug trafficking. You
absolutely 100%.
You know.
Can I just say something quick because I have to go?
Go ahead.
One day we got to go and take a walk around the wildflower. What is it called? The
wildflower.
Yeah, we need to take a walk. I will be the black person, right?
Karen, I want to tell you something. I want to say, since this local government election, let me just say this: the amount of people of strong political pedigree and character who don't want to be dirtied by the other parties anymore that have said after this election we're talking, I think something big coming out of this. I honestly believe that.
Let us take the walk now. Philip, let us take the walk and call the media then. And let's see if Abood or whoever it is will send us and tell us we can't be there. Let us see what the Prime Minister is going to do. If you're going to turn a blind eye to it, that is part of that.
But not just him. Not just him.
But he's a leader.
No, but not just him. Every political leader should have wanted to say something. Errol Fabian is the PRO of the NTA. And Errol Fabian, before he joined the NTA, came on my show and said that was the most reprehensible thing he's ever witnessed in his life. And
why didn't he do anything about it?
You can't be
I want to say this very quick. I have to say this. You know, when I saw you talk about the wildflower park, I did say, to be honest, I said, well, you know, Philip Alexander talking about it, but he's not walking the walk. He's just talking why we don't know. So I really wanted to put out the challenge to you to do that. And then there I saw a picture with people up color. And you said, there's no Abood, Abood, what do you call it? Security firm. So you walk the walk. And I'm telling you, you need more walking and walk to let people understand we are not going to be intimidated.
Karen, if the media,
our own country, we are
if
the
media wasn't blocking me, Gary Griffin get more media in a week than I get in 3 years. If the media wasn't blocking me, you would know some of the things that I do. But as you say, we will walk and we will talk.
Call me, you know. I'm not joking with you, you know.
I come in to walk too, Philip.
No, I come in to walk with you.
I go come and walk too.
Let me tell you.
I'm still coming to walk too.
Let's see if
I taken this challenge and I say all the good people who want to get together, we meeting in Wildflower Park to start a new dispensation.
Let me know. I come in.
Let us take a walk. Please do our next TikTok. Invite people and say the time and date. And now we have I know the law. There's a difference between a march, a gathering thing, but we're not marching gathering. We just was enjoying the strolling around the pathway. That's what we want to do. And let us see what the police and let us see what the leadership will do about that. Because the cause.
But Karen, with you and Philip here, I want to say something looking from afar, right?
Yeah.
There's this dispensation coming out from the PNM, and the PNM leader said that certain people have to wean themselves off the government, right? I want Faris Alwari family to wean himself off the government. I want Terence Yasin family to wean himself off the government. I want the Minister of Works family to wean himself off the government.
Imsburg.
Stuart Young to wean himself family to wean himself off the government. And I want Colin to
wean
himself off the government. And when you have the Prime Minister, the man who says the blackest man in Trinidad and Tobago, going up into our constitution,
conveniently.
And telling them,
Watchman, I said on an interview this morning, when I saw him talk about how he loved the color of his skin, I said, well, when you're in the cabinet, and you look around the cabinet and you see Imbert and Al-Rawi and Amo and Young, you not seeing your skin color, how you know you like your color?
No, he does like
you like
skin because you know
like
why?
Every other color.
No, Philip, he likes the color of his skin because he uses it conveniently to talk me.
I absolutely, I suspect you might be right.
Dealing with the poor man.
No,
I understand the struggle. When he say you can't say that, you cannot say that.
But you have a big lawyer like Keith Scotland languishing, and you went from Al-Rawi to Amor, and you love that color. You love that color at all.
And not only that.
Oh God, I got myself in enough trouble.
Yeah, but
anyhow, I have a walker.
We're
just
walking.
put it in
Before you go, the Prime Minister stand up in a platform and said he could be the blackest man in Trinidad and Tobago. That's not my word. That's the Prime Minister. He said that. He said that.
Anyway, let me put this out. My number. If you don't have my number is 682-2110.
I'm gonna take it down now. My brain function late at night.
Yeah, we go get.
Everybody can find everybody.
But listen, Karen and Philip. we have to do this after the local election.
Yeah.
You know, we do this because Philip, you and Karen have to understand the diaspora plays a significant role in our general election. General election. I can tell you because I was here between 2010 and 2015 supporting the guy.
I want to tell you something.
Yeah.
The challenge that I present to strong people of African descent, born in Trinidad, living in first world countries, is they hearing the truth of my words and they seeing it in the reality that they live in, and they know what they escaped from in Trinidad.
But you know what they have to do? Pony up the dollars. You've got to. I don't know where you have, but you seem to have some good finances. But
and allow us to vote.
Karen, I want to tell you.
Tell me.
Our office and watch those people. Come and see my finance crew. Come and watch my phone and watch how we call everybody and beg for $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000.
Very good.
That's how we do it.
All right, and we have to go to the diaspora.
Definitely. This is a week. It had to be a week thing. If it's not all of us, it's still going to fail. It had to be all of us.
So
all
listen,
right.
man, I want to thank Karen. I want to thank. I know you got to run. I want to thank you, Philip, for taking the time to come joining us. Karen, any closing words before you go?
No, it was wonderful talking to you. Wonderful being in the same company with Philip, because I was just talking about you actually. And there I was saying, castigating you. I said, yeah, he saying go on the wildflower thing, but he ain't walking. When I open up my phone, I see he had people. I say, yeah, he put his money where his mouth is. You have my respect.
And Karen, it's important for people to note now that you are supporting Hope. You are now a member.
Absolutely. Hope, absolutely 100%, because Hope,
but Karen, you know, Hope is a safe space for you to touch back.
Yeah, but to give it time. Give it time.
It is a safe space for you to touch back down. And I understand that. But at the end of the day, when you have good people, it can be compartmentalized and silos. At some point, we have to know, we have to talk.
Okay, so we will see what we shall see. But remember, I was there with CL Financial. Well, anyway, we aren't going through all of that. I just remember, I think I've been tried and tested too during my period as Minister of Finance. So we will see how it goes. And I have my respect. You walk the walk and you open up a lot of people's eyes. I look forward to your TikToks. I look forward to getting them. And we have to get together after local government and take a long wildflower.
I look forward to that.
Any closing words before you go?
Actually, if Karen go in your 10 more minutes, I'll start my live video late. My live video is supposed to start at 9, but I know I came in here a little late, so I'll apologize.
I have to go.
All right, so Karen, we want to thank you. So
all right, have a good evening.
Okay, Philip, you can stay.
Thank
all
you,
right,
Karen.
Thank you, Karen.
Yeah.
Thank you. Love your house. It's showing off.
I can get you. Karen.
Oh, you get me out though.
I get you out. All right, so here we go. So Philip, stay with us for a little bit. We're going to go for a quick station identification. It's in the village with the DAG Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. Stick and stay. We're going to go for a quick station identification. We'll be right back after this.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
Back with you. It's in the village with the DAG Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. We come to every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. And of course, finally, I think this is the second time we finally have with us in the village no other than the political leader of PEP, Mr. Philip Edward Alexander, So, Philip, we see the climate. Now, for you, Philip, and your party, what would be a success for you guys after Monday the 14th? What would be success for you guys?
I think we've already, all the big hits on our list that we wanted to accomplish in this local government election, demonstrate our integrity, wasn't even on the list, but it was a big takeaway from it. But what happened in this election is that the public that did not know that there was something as substantial as the PEP before got to see us. We had an event in McCoy where we presented our candidates and packed Center of Excellence, and that kind of sent a political earthquake through the establishment. Our teams that have been on the ground, we are in all 14 corporations. We didn't get all of the candidates. We're not in all of the districts, but we're in all the corporations, and our teams on the ground have been able to get themselves into every little community and village to the extreme ends of the country. And coming away from this local government election, we are very well prepared for the general election, which was our purpose for being in it. The outpouring of love and support, if it manifests in wins on Monday, I would take that as icing on the cake. We have some of the best candidates. And I tell people, and they know, you vote my candidates in as councillors, you get me. And we have a response. We have a burning desire to demonstrate our capability so that people will close their eyes and vote for us between now and 2025 in the general election. That's what we want. We want to fix it. We want to fix it.
Now, Philip, I've seen Felicia Holder. Is that her name?
Yes, that's our chairman, head of finance.
I got to tell you, she is a splendiferous, tremendous, marvelous, fantastic, spectacular young lady. And here is why. I saw her in a debate with Timothy Hamel Smith, Louis Lee Singh, Gary Griffith, and there was 2 or 3 other people. And she held the fort like nothing. She was really, 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 really splendiferous. I mean,
and I want to tell you, that's indicative of the team. We have a strong team. So people who get into it by my voice, then get to meet other people in the team. They get very impressed very quickly and come on board and join. We have really good people waiting in the wings to be a part of the general election. And the reason they're waiting in the wings is, we live in a country of political victimization and character assassination. So people timing their entry, but we have a strong side for the next general election. It's going to be a fight.
Right, but Philip, on the flip side, right, I've always said this in here, and your supporters of PEP in here always got on my case, right? I always felt that Philip will fix it was a little too kind of personal as opposed to PEP will fix it. Could
I answer that? Could I answer that?
Yeah.
The majority of people prior to this local government election spreading the knowledge of the party nationally, the only thing in the party that had national reach was me and my name, my voice, my brand. So the decision was made because it did start off with people sending people to me saying that Philip will fix it. And we were solving problems. So we branded it Philip will fix it because it has the right amount of staccato hits Philip will fix it, that you could use for marketing to get into people's psyche. But we thought that we would use it to pull everything along and change it to Pep will fix it as it is right now.
No. Also, Philip, there is some people who believe that Pep is a one-man party. It's Philip. It's Philip.
Then
Everything is Philip.
Then I'm Superman. Then I am.
What do you say to that, though? People see,
pocket finance. There's no politics.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, when you see what the party accomplishes, what it's done, for it to be a one-man party, I have to be Superman. I take that. The reality on the ground now, people are seeing, while you're talking to me, there are people on the ground in Cedros, in Pinal Debe, in Point 14, they go Martin, they're walking in Blue Basin and Bagatelle right now, they're in Arima, we in Tunapuna, I mean, we in Manzanilla, Mayaro. While you talking to me, Pep on the ground in all of those places. There are other parties that could be called one-man parties, but not the PEP. You could say that the PEP has a very strong, outspoken leader. That you could say. And a lot of times, when the people who are saying that, you know, they were saying in Trinidad, monkey don't see their own tail. Nobody know the UNC MPs. Nobody know half the government MPs. You know Keith Rowley, you know Kamala Persad. People vote for a leader. I think what is intimidating those two parties is that for the first time, they have to go toe-to-toe with a strong leader. We are insisting on a debate. We want to show the capacity and capability of the leaders. And that's the next step.
But Philip, you know that in the upcoming general election in 2025, you're going to have to form coalition with other parties, right?
Not at all. Not at all. So? We are going to work with other parties. Now, I'm serious about talking to Hope and talking to others. Let me tell you this. You have to understand this, right? That brand behind me, say 78% fully formed. To be a fully formed brand, 100% of the people have to at least know it and what it means. So we're working hard at getting that. Hope don't have that. And Nikolai Edwards' Progressive Party doesn't have that. So even though some of the people in those parties have name and brand recognition, we all have to realize whatever is the strongest brand out of all, merge into that. If you're telling me that I have to work with Steve Alvarez and Louis Leasing and Nikolai Edwards and Karen Nunez-Tesheira and other people of like mind and strong character who could bring to the table, I tell you, sure, let's talk. Let's look at that as a conversation. But to form a next coalition, the people of Trinidad are punch drunk and wary of any such construct.
So is there any hope? Oh, I shouldn't use that.
Yeah, you could. I can tell the context.
Is there any
possibility?
Any possibilities? Thank you. There. Any possibilities that there could be a PEP NTA or PEP UNC? Any possibilities with respect to that as far as a local
or PEP PDP?
A PEP PDP as far as the general election is concerned.
Watson Duke is an extremely polarizing character, but he's an next strong force in the politics, and he's somebody that I do well with in conversation. And while everybody quick to castigate each other's characters, I look at the merit of the person that I'm dealing with and see what they bring to the table, because you're getting into at least a 5-year marriage, and it must be people who could deliver. You must agree ideologically. You must stand for similar things and against similar things, because that's what destroys coalitions. This whole nonsense with Gary and Kamala and Warner and don't vote. I want to show you something. When that election is over, regardless of the outcome, they can't survive. When Krokro had said too much Borat can't live in the same hole, he wasn't far off. He wasn't wrong. You need to decide, this person have lead, let him lead. Watch how Gordon Brown and Tony Blair worked in the United Kingdom. Watch what they did with their coalition. But Trinidadians don't have the maturity, the political maturity to say, okay, You take the first leg of the relay, and I'll take it after. I tell people, because I'm not in politics for the rest of my life. I am willing to give 1 5-year term, one. And I know that in that 5-year term, there are a lot of big things that need to fix. The Constitution needs to be reformed. Our education system needs to be retooled. How our banking and financial service sector operates needs to be organized. All of those things. So I'll put my mind to that with a strong cabinet for that and put systems in place that the country could run. But after that, somebody else have to take it. I don't want to die with political boots on.
You know, I think, Philip, from many of us looking from afar, and plenty of the things that you raise, like for example, you had done the things with the barrel and the light on the highway, and when they come and they moved it away. I mean, that was a brilliant idea, to be honest with you. You know, did they ever do anything with that idea, or they just got rid of it?
They copied it.
Or they did something with it.
They put in the rumble strips. When we went down there to say install rumble strips, you have to put things here. People were dying. It wasn't a stunt, you know. We went down there to save lives. Since that barrel exercise, the Ministry of Works, when they moved our barrels, they put in rumble strips, they put barrels on the end, they lit the place, they put up signs in the middle so that people could see it, because the signs on the verges were being overgrown, so nobody knew that the highway was ending. Since the barrel exercise, not one person has died.
Well, Philip, you and Gary have been such good partners, man. What is the tug of war between you and him? You guys are real friends, partners, all kind of thing. You know what happened? What really happened, man? You ain't telling the people the true story of it.
No, but I can tell you, I don't like the people around Gary. I don't like the people behind Gary. I think Gary has a part to play. He's an excellent technocrat, but I think that Gary's confused, misguided, and misled. He's trying to be something that he's not. He's dancing now for other people who just interested in fattening themselves further. And he's engaged in lazy politics. Marsha Lorraine Walker Riley is the next person who disappointed me. She has a lot of potential, but she's lazy. It is political laziness that makes people say, I will go and try and piggyback on the 485,000 Indian votes to match up against the 475,000 African votes in Trinidad. We are trying to change the country. People talking this nonsense about go and get rid of the PNM and then you go sort it out. What does then you go sort it out mean? Fight and mash up the party? Because that's what then you go sort it out to mean. And I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in staying the course. And people have been saying every political party that ever formed in this country challenge an election and mash up after. And the Progressive Empowerment Party stays the course, represents the people, and continues to grow. So it's now part of the national landscape, and people know that there is a third option. There is life outside of the PNM and UNC, and it's giving people hope. Yes, we can use that word.
How long has the Progressive Empowerment Party been in existence?
January 18, 2017.
Okay.
No, Philip, when, I mean, I asked this question before, but I just wanted to follow up on it, right? Let's say you win 3 councillors' position, for example. I'm just saying 3 councillors' position, for example. I mean, do you have a number in mind that you think will be a success for the PEP as far as, you know?
We want to win Point Fortin Corporation. We want to win Chaguanas Street, the Reunited Farmers. We want to win Pinal, Debe. We want to win the majority in those corporations. We want to have the deciding votes in Arima and Tunapuna. We want to win all our councils in Diego Martin. We want the opportunity to deliver. Our Tuesday, August 15 plan after victory is to go back to the people with a document that asks the people to list the top 25 things that they want addressed. And we will work assiduously to have those 25 things. We put them into a database. So everybody will have their different 25, but within the 25, they will have 5, 10, 15 that everybody agree on. And those things we will work to fix. If the government hold back funding, We'll sue the government in the courts. We'll take them before the Equal Opportunity Tribunal and take the Equal Opportunity Tribunal to the Privy Council to have it retooled to functionality. We will protest. We will raise funds through curfew and barbecue and begging, and we will still get the things done. Because at the end of the day, what the people want is representation, and we're here to show that government can deliver. And even if you're not the government, but you're the local government, and the government withhold funding, there are still steps you could take to give the people what you promised. It is time for the politics thing to done.
Now, Philip, most people know that you have a strong personality, right? And that's what it takes to be a leader. But you know, sometimes if you look at the current PNM leader, you know, I mean, I don't know if he does listen or if he wears earphones and he doesn't really hear. You know what I mean? Are you as a leader willing to listen to other people as far as advice is concerned? Not just talking, but as far as advice is concerned. Philip, take a drink, yes, but yeah. What kind of tea you drink, Philip? Oh,
okay. In 2007, everybody in Trinidad, women wanted to marry him, men wanted to be like him. In 2007, Keith Rowley rose in esteem when he challenged Patrick Manning. And that famous YouTube video you can pull up on YouTube and said, I went to the Prime Minister in August 2003.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yeah. Remember that?
That's when Keith Rowley rose to prominence and he put his neck on the line. His behavior between then and now is exactly what Gary Griffith is doing. And that makes the point. Gary Griffith has potential that is going to be squandered on other people's leash. Keith Rowley's potential has been squandered on other people's leash. When you hear a politician say one thing yesterday and a different thing today, it's not necessarily because they are unethical, you know, but it could be that they've sacrificed their ethics for ambition. And that leads us to a place where what the people thought they were getting and what they're getting is two different things.
Philip, I want to disagree with you with a little bit. 34 years ago, before I get married, my mother told me a liar has no memory. And if you are honest, Dr. Rowley's a liar. And he lies last week or he lies 2 weeks ago and he doesn't remember what he said.
Well, I was the person who said, you see, after the glitter fades and the luster wore off, we all got to look back and say, but if you went to the Prime Minister in August 2003, and the first time we hear about it in the Parliament is in 2009, that means 6 years passed. 6 years you eat cabinet food, drink cabinet wine. There was an election, you defended the PNM, but you said that you went to the Prime Minister in August 2003 and told him about massive bid rigging and that his government was the most corrupt in the history of Trinidad and Tobago, 10 times worse than what was taking place at Piaco, and all of those things. It's only when the glitter fades and the luster wears off. It's like this, light them up, tap it, knock it, crack it, rock it, nonsense Kamala talking. They're hoping that they're going to get out of this election before the chickens come home to roost, before the consequences of that nonsense is really realized. Trinidad has massive, massive problems, but we don't need more reactionary nonsense. We need sober, sensible, from the root solutions. And I believe the majority of people are on board for that.
You know, Philip, I got to tell you, right? We live in America here, and we have what's called stand your ground. And we also have something that's called the Casa Doctrine. The Casa Doctrine is you can defend your casa by any means necessary. Stand your ground is if I walking out in the street and I feel threatened by somebody, I could stand my ground, right? And I could take things into my own hand and act accordingly. I have said, and I've said to whoever, stand your ground is not a good law for Trinidad and Tobago. The Casa Doctrine is completely 100%. Because if you come into my home, if you come into my castle, I will light you up. I will light you up. You got to take whatever you get. Because you know why, Philip? I rather go to jail, all right, and bend down and pick up some soap than to be 6 feet under with all of my family.
People say that. People
What's
say that they prefer to be tried by 9 and carried by 6. And I understand that.
Yeah.
And I'm saying to you, I remember when Bernard Shaw was a brand new CNN anchor, and they put him to manage the debate between Dukakis, who was leading George Bush, and they asked the question if he came into yours because Dukakis had this furlough policy in his state. He was governor of where?
Massachusetts.
It was not Arkansas.
Dukakis?
Yeah.
I think you. All right. I think he was.
But remember Willie Horton? Remember Willie Horton who got furloughed and then raped and killed somebody or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody knew that was going to be an issue for the election. And when Bernard Shaw asked Dukakis, and his answer was about due process and the law and everything, they asked George Bush, and George Bush said he would kill him with his bare hands. If you come in your house and find your wife and your whatever, right? And that kind of, I mean, life insurance. One of the first trainings I got as a salesman was to sell life insurance, and they teach you how to terrorize people's fears. To tell them after you drop dead, who's going to mind your wife and your daughter? Some other man? How to terrorize people's fears. And I'm seeing that in the politics. I'm seeing that in the politics in a country where you could say 5% of the population have illegal firearms. There are 40,000 illegal guns in this country at best guess.
Yeah, Dukakis was Massachusetts. I was Dukakis.
Castle Doctrine,
yes,
which is where they begat Stand Your Ground in America that has a strong judicial system. Cannot be the same thing in Trinidad, where there are people in jail. Vernon de Lima told me there are people in jail for murder in Trinidad at the current rate will not see the inside of a court for nearly 50 years. This is a country where people are in our jails. We have a human rights atrocity taking place. There are people in our jails here convicted of nothing, but they are charged, and they can't afford bail, and they can't afford lawyers. So they're locked up, and they're locked up for decades from petty crimes. You cannot throw something like Stand Your Ground in Trinidad as a reaction to crime when you know that crime is caused by poverty, caused by the corruption of paying $1 billion a year to desalinate seawater when we throw in 10 billion gallons of rainwater into the sea. We get it rain for free. The corruption in this country is endemic, it is systemic, and it is politically driven by the PNM and the UNC and their handlers, the contract mafia. All of those little black children that they want to go and they call them cockroaches, and they want to lock them up and lock them down. Those same children, if you give them hope and opportunity, would thrive. Trinidadians are bright people regardless of color. But these people have nothing. They have no hope.
Well, Philip.
I want to say to you, you've been outside long.
Yeah.
There are places in Trinidad. People just talk about Beetham and Lavantel. There's a place across the road from Bayside Towers, Westmoreland, called Waterhole. Come there now. Come and see how people live. Come and see what their hopes, what their options are.
I got to visit that when it comes. But Philip, yeah, Philip,
yeah,
I don't have a problem with these statements. Lie them up. If
you do not solve poverty, Manhattan Island.
Wait. Let me stop you for a minute. That point you're going to make there, it's 100% accurate, because here it is. The Caribbean Development Bank Poverty Assessment says that 26.4% of black people in Trinidad and Tobago are living below the poverty level.
How much? 1%?
26.4, 26.3%.
That's a ridiculous underestimate. It's more than half.
All right, but listen to this. The World Bank also stated that Trinidad is ranked 10th in the Caribbean, not 10th, 8th in the Caribbean for black people living below the poverty line. And Philip, I got to be honest with you. When I call radio stations, because I have been a supporter for the PNM. Those same black PNM people who are included in this just cuss me.
You can't fight. You can't fight cult politics with intelligence. And the PNM engages in cult politics. They confuse people. And I have learned the hardest lesson I've had to learn.
That's only UNC a cult too, right?
The UNC is pretty much becoming a cult, yes.
Yeah, so
they follow
not just the PNM, right?
But but listen, this light them up, crack it nonsense. It's called dog whistling. They are painting an image in people's minds of a victim and an attacker, and they are two different races. You follow what I said?
Yeah, I follow.
That is dangerous. You are sowing the seeds of social disharmony. And the people on the ground who they gassing up are the ones that are going to pay the price. But I just want to tell you this. Manhattan Island. Pull up on it with a boat and see what happens. Ignore the Coast Guard, 3 miles out at sea, and see what happens. In Trinidad, you could come from Mexico, Colombia, Venezuela, drive straight up into your jetty in Bayshore or Gulfview, or up the Caroni River, or on any of 367 beaches, or up Balandra, Blanchishes, and Toco, and drop it for somebody else to come and pick up. And that's where the drugs and the guns come into Trinidad and Tobago. Wait. If that doesn't sound frightening, let me scare you more. 50% of the shipping containers that come into this narco paradise come off the ships, onto trucks, and leave without so much as a, let me see what you have in the back there. 50%. We have created a failed state. We have allowed people to create poverty unchecked. We've allowed them to import guns and put it into the hands of the victims of poverty, and now want to talk crack it, lock it, tap it, knock it bullshit.
I look at the political landscape in Trinidad and Tobago, and if we continue going down the racial divide, it's not going to put us anywhere.
That's why they're losing members. People are not sticking around for the war. People don't want to fight Kamala and keep fight. They are hemorrhaging members, and I'm telling you, I will guarantee that the Progressive Empowerment Party is strong, that it has plenty people besides me to be able to adequately run that party. Felicia Holder is one of them. I am guaranteeing you that we will create a vehicle that will give the people of Trinidad and Tobago a level playing field and a proper voice in a parliament. We've never had that. We've had political stuntification. We've had politricksters. We've had con artists and race baiting. It is time to move away from all of that. I called names last night to form a political party. Kid Rowley can't do what I did. Kamala cannot do what I did. Progressive Empowerment Party has already contested 2 local government elections and a general election. We're going into our 3rd local government election with 2 local by-elections, and we're going into a full local government election. None of them could do that. Kid and Kamala parachute into their positions. We built this from the ground up, no deep pocket financiers, no investors. This is a real movement of people, and the people have a voice in this party. Any member will tell you. We have a table where the leadership meets on a Monday, and the issues are addressed as a team. And what the team decides is what happens. That's how you run a party. We have a wonderful opportunity now to do this. People of Trinidad and Tobago need to see it for what it is. See their condition, see the country where it's going, and see the opportunity to save it. Anything else after that is madness.
Yeah, Philip, somebody just asked this question. Wall Street asked Philip if he will lock up Rowley and them for corruption.
I
want to tell you something. I want to tell Wall Street this.
No, I'm Wall Street. That's called me Wall Street. That's called me Wall Street. It's the person asks. They ask me to ask you. Go ahead. They asked me to ask you.
Tell that person, I will go so far to lock up people I call uncle and auntie.
You hear that, Richard? You hear that? The man answer your question. You know.
You see the corruption in this country that made some people ridiculously wealthy at the expense of the social cohesion of this country has angered me. I think 90% of the reason I am in politics is I am angry at them. I know what I am capable of. My father told me to whom much is given, much is expected. My brother stepped to the global pharmaceutical companies in the world. I will deal with the PNM and the UNC in Trinidad. Today we're talking on the phone. And we say at some point, we will be dealing between your country and mine and saving Trinidad and Tobago.
But Philip, before you go, some people have said under the UNC, you got contracts from Gary Griffith.
Oh.
What do you say about
that? Under the UNC, Gary Griffith asked me to be his communications advisor, and I was the most effective communications advisor. Jerry Halley tried to hire me. I told him I didn't have the time. Garvin Hero. I walked away from a $50,000 a month offer for a radio show on 91.1. Tell these people they don't know me, you know. They don't know the extent of my character and how important it is to me. What my mother, my now deceased father, but what my parents saw, what my children see is more important to me than driving around in fancy foreign cars. Garvin Hero of the National Operations Center, he asked me to assist him and I worked with him. Those were the two people, Gary Griffith, National Operations Center. I used to watch the people come and go through Gary Griffith's office, knowing what they were there for. And I never even asked to supply or provide or engage anything. Never a single contract. And I had the authority possibly to grant it to myself for the times when Gary was the Maro. Never. Not one, ever.
So Philip, lastly, right? In any of the corporations that you are running in, is it one for the possibility of a mayor? Would you put yourself up to be a mayor? And if Pep was supposed to win enough seats in that corporation for them to become a mayor?
You know, that conversation has not even arisen, and I'll tell you why. We have so many capable people that need to be put in those positions. I have a role, and my role is to take the party as far forward to grow this party. I can't be distracted by being a mayor of a corporation. So the answer has to be no. There's only one job that I'm trying to get. That's Prime Minister. I want to fix it. I need to be focused on that. I like a racehorse with blinkers. Is that another thing?
And lastly, someone said that Watson Duke offered people in Laventille a house if he becomes mayor. Have you offered?
Oh boy.
I'm sorry. Excuse me. I apologize. Have you offered the people of Laventille anything?
No, but look, everybody on the panel break down after the same thing. All we offering everybody in the country is the same strong leadership, proper country for their children, a place to retire, a place for all of y'all who are Trinis living abroad to pack and come back home, because you have Trinidad that you miss as a first world functional country. So you won't need to live in an ex-man land. We will make sure the strength of the dollar in Trinidad and Tobago could fill a trolley for 2 days and 3 days work. Not like today, I don't work for a month to buy a week worth of groceries. Trinidad is a mess. We know how to fix it. We want to fix it. That's the job.
So Philip, we want to thank you so much, man, for giving us that time. We know this is
I want to tell you who you have to thank.
Who?
You see a girl, Lima McLeod Wilkinson?
Yeah.
You stand behind me to make sure that I'm on this show tonight. Yeah, she made sure I was on this show.
Well, yeah, because you know why? You got to be right. You promised us some time, and then you want to send one of your other people, and we say we want.
Not at all. At any point. Lima is my longest serving deputy political leader. Lima is one of the founding members of the Progressive Empowerment Party.
She good too, no doubt about it. She good. I know about two of them. I know about Felicia Holder.
And what about Hadassah?
We ever talked to Hadassah?
Hadassah is so strong.
Yep, I like her. I like all three of them.
No, Hadassah is so strong. The problem with Hadassah, though, she has a lot of challenges and she's trying to get past, I think, personal, economic, financial challenges that she's trying to get beyond. Because, and I've been doing whatever I could to assist because I know she's trying to grow her business and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that when she's ready to put her feet down in the politics, she'll be a force to reckon with.
And I told Lima, Jenny Penny Commission ain't got nothing on her.
Oh my God. That's true. She's a
you know what I think, Philip, that many of the things that people see you do really do resonate with them. And they can see that, you know, at the end of the day, you do have the country's interests at heart. And I'm sure that there are many who hope good things for you and your party. And of course, there's some others who may say, you know, we don't like Philip and we don't want nothing with Philip. You know what I mean?
You know what? I want to tell those people, listen, if it's personal, let's get beyond it. If it's reactionary, let's grow up. If what you want is a better country, you don't have to like me, but see my ability and what I want to do. And if it could benefit you, then tolerate me. But at the end of the day, let's make it about the flag. Let's make it about Trinidad. Let's make it about one collective people. Let's take us to the place we're supposed to be alongside the most developed first world countries. That's where Trinidad and Tobago is supposed to be. Let's get there. And then we could stop and put people who we like. And on the point of Lima's beauty and Felicia, we are a good-looking party, I must admit. We have a lot of beautiful people in this party. Brains and beauty. I think we have the right combination.
So Philip,
that's what happened me.
Yeah, I want to thank
much. You know, don't let it just be election time, though. I mean, anytime you want to chat and you feel you want to gas me up somewhere, because there's no one I'm coming for when I come to this show.
No, listen. If it's one thing, when people come in the village, we just keep it real. People may not like, you know, we have.
This is not for weak people.
No. Exactly. And okay, Philip, I hear you on an interview today on 91.9, and I'm like, I was kind of laughing, you know. I will leave it there.
Thank you, guys. Have a good.
Thank you very much.
Good night, Mr. Alexander.
All right. Forward to chatting in the future.
Yeah, man. Later.
Good luck on Monday.
Good luck.
Good luck. Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah. So.
Splendiferous, marvelous, stupendous, gracious, delicious. Any more shots, Tommy?
Tremendiferous.
Yeah.
Eiley just asked me the question. I didn't see it. David Welch leave. Yeah, I should have asked that. You know, and I think I want to say to people, this is what we are about here in the village. We want each and everyone to come in. Don't care where you're from. And we don't just want you during our election time. Nope. We want you to come before as well, so you can let people know, you know, what's going on, you know, and because that's why we call this a village. In the village with the DAG Triplets and WZYE 95.9 FM. You know, we want to thank all the new people that joined us. You know, tell a friend to tell a friend. This is what we do here. You know, we bring all different people in. We want to thank Karen as well. You know, Karen came in and, you know, she didn't even know. You know, it's funny, right? Think about it this way, right? You remember the last time Gary Griffith was here and then Karen came in and then Karen started to converse with each other.
Yep.
Something or the other. It always seemed to be something that positive happened. Two people didn't know, you know, they didn't know each other was coming, and they come in, and something very positive comes out of it. So
and we have you have bashed Gary Griffith. Gary Griffith bashed you in an interview. You know, differences. You have bashed Philip for his, you know, one man appearance. And look, he come and we had conversation. Right? So we bashing because, you know, there's something to be bashed about, but we want to hear from you. And I don't know, for God's sake, why the PNM don't come in here? I say so.
They don't need us.
You took the words out of my mouth.
I don't know why the PNM don't come in here. What more? Let's frighten now. But I go mute Anselm Mike and only go deal with me and Tommy.
as far as they're concerned, we're a little too small for them. They
Oh yeah. We too much of a rabble rouser.
Yeah, and we're troublemakers and mischief makers.
We're not gonna throw no softball at them. We don't throw
Yeah. No prep questions. You're not getting no prep. What questions are gonna know? You come in the village, we ask the questions fair and good. PNM, inviting all of it to come into the village. Come into the village.
Cyril Ramada, I'm a partner from on Facebook. Cyril has Cyril is the admin of a Facebook page called, I think it's Trinidad and Tobago Politics. You ever Philip? You ever Cyril accent? I'm gonna put Cyril quote on the screen. Cyril accent. Answer, if you could vote, will you vote Pep?
Oh!
Cyril, I sitting on the sidelines in this one. I say you don't on the bench on this one. I say you don't on the bench. You know what I mean? Watching, I don't watch and observe. You know? Watch and observe. Because
one thing I'm going to go on a limb and say for myself, the persecuted national movement go and get one cut skin.
You see, Trinidad
one cut skin coming.
Trinidad is so finicky that it's only when if I let it sing you would know.
Yeah.
However, Philip, I feel for him because he's
passionate.
Yeah, but he needs much more support than he's getting.
Much more, yeah. He's very passionate.
I think some people have difficulties looking past the messenger, as opposed to the message.
Yeah.
And that happens. You know what I mean? And
but Anselm, it could work, because look, some people we look at Donald Trump. Okay.
Yeah, but Donald Trump is
that's a different comparison.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah,
because
messenger and messenger.
The GOP is a major party,
Yeah. It's GOP is either Republican or Democrats.
But I heard historically that blacks used to support the Republican, and they're the ones that were in power when they abolished slavery.
Of course, the abolitionists were Republicans.
Yeah, I heard that. I read that somewhere. Yeah. So you know what I want, Anselm? I tell me if this is possible. One day in the future, we can have a category in the ballots that say, and we go down, none of the below or none of the above. You think that's possible?
Well, you just don't vote. You don't have none of the above.
Right now, you go to vote. Nah, I mean none of the above, none of the below.
I think most of the time when you go to the poll, you already know who you have.
But they should have that choice there. That's what I feel.
All right. Richard Ramup says, Diana, never come on your program. Do you know why, Diana?
Who? What?
Richard, the Moko man, the Moko fig man.
Why? I wouldn't know, that Richard enlighten me now.
Yeah, Richard, let me know now.
Because they don't like Anselm. I go mute his mic. Dr. Rowley, I'm inviting you to come on our show. The finance man, I can't get his name said properly.
Call him, but
Ember.
Yeah, his name has confused me. Mr. The one that called and said that you've spoken vile things about him, Mr. Fitzgerald Hines. Yeah, you need to come on our show. Penny Beckles, come on our show.
I never invited Penny though.
And Stuart Young, we'll invite her and see. Stuart Young, come on our show. Fall down. I don't promise you're not gonna fall down. Faris Awari, I feel if you invite Faris, he'll come.
Faris?
Yeah. I just got a feeling he strikes me to be that type of person.
Well, then I invite him now.
I'm going to call him one day and invite him.
No, just invite him.
I will invite him. Mm-hmm. I feel if you invite him, he'll come. But you'll come with the computer response, and we ain't going to take that lightly.
Yeah. You know,
the computer.
I wanted to ask Karen a question about that tax,
But that's for another show. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, because Stuart Young was on Darian Marcel program.
Mm.
And they asked him about the commercial property.
Mm-hmm.
I think I talked about it on Tuesday. And he run around Balize house about 5 times.
And all them activists need to come on the show too.
Them activists and them.
Yeah, let them come. Let them come and lay the case to the people.
Listen.
Why? You know, yeah.
No, those activists, the PNM activists, seriously, have to do a little more homework. They have to do a little, because all them just talk about is, and they don't talk about the improvement that the PNM should be doing. I don't understand, and this is for the UNC too, and Pep and everybody. I don't understand when you support a party and you follow lock, stock, and barrel, whatever they tell you. What good is that? How does the party improve? And the party going contrary.
Because apparently you have to give up the power of independent thought and just follow the leader.
What good does that do for the party?
Nada. What good does it do for the country? Nada.
And you know, to hear Karen say about him being a bully, and I'm like, wow, Dr. Rowley, you bullying people in the party? That ain't good.
But Manning said that. Manning said we don't allow bullying in schools. We don't.
Yeah, Manning said it.
You catch more ants with honey than vinegar. Dr. Rowley, come on.
Did you see Dr. Rowley today? Did you see him today? Talking about the Integrity Commission and about Form A and Form B. And you know, Form A is that confidential and Form B is something else. And he did put items on Form B, and he wanted to know why the Integrity Commission didn't tell him. And if you hear.
You heard him today threatening to sue people?
I mean, it is mind-boggling.
I wonder if it's his age. You know, when you get to be that age, you get aggravated and irritated. As you know, he just quickly.
I don't want to buy that excuse, Diana.
Why, Tommy? Because you mellow? I give away your age.
I'm not that age, but at the same time, I know many people older than he is that are much more.
Well, I know quite a few of them his age, and they're irritated and they're irritable, and don't drive with them at all. Oh, come on, move out the way. I'm like, Lord, Father.
Hey, Capiza, we had Julia Davy in here, and she left.
No, that was Rhoda Barrett.
No, we had Julia Davy too.
Oh, maybe I wasn't here on that show then. Okay.
We had Julia Davy and we had Rhoda Barrett, and both of them left.
What she leave for?
I mean, I don't know. Julia Davy was asked Julia Davy some question, and she says, I mean, I don't remember, be honest with you.
That's not professional.
Yeah.
Does that really matter in that space?
That's not professional.
What was that? Okay, Nessie said, I wasn't aware there's a voting option to the PNM and UNC. There's a voting option. There's PEP, there's PDP. Yeah.
The farmers group. I don't know what I'm named.
Takesha says, Anselm and the PNM was forgetting to and asking for people to help him, remember? Who was that, Takesha?
And the PM, Prime Minister.
The PM was asked.
Was forgetting and ask for who? For people to help. Who that? Help who?
The PM.
He was forgetting what he was saying, and was asking people
to help him remember.
Oh yeah, Twiggy did.
PM is Prime Minister.
Twiggy did a video saying he may have it was Alzheimer, but she was saying Alzheimer.
Oh God! I see all the pre-action protocol letters and they set it out.
Yeah, I don't understand in Trinidad and Tobago, boy.
Oh God!
The Prime Minister, boy. The Prime Minister, you know.
Yeah.
I wonder if he send the pre-action protocol to the whistleblower.
Yeah, what become of he now?
Anybody know what happened with that?
Yeah, what become of the pariah thing? What going on with that? You had to follow up on that, Anselm.
Money spent, that's all. But for the most part, that pre-action protocol stories is a lot of bluffing as far as I'm concerned.
Well, not really, Rhoda Barrett also go and apologize.
to Gary Griffin.
and she has to pay court costs.
Why?
She had to be silent till November 11th or the 12th.
Oh, jeez.
You know what I mean? So certain people, when they get a pre-action protocol, it's serious.
Mm.
If they can get their friend in the judiciary to work with them.
Oh, that's another question. Nessie says puppets not moving. That's PNM, and UNC is under no condition. Okay.
Listen, man, the corruption is so rampant in Trinidad and Tobago, Trinidad especially.
We got the animal farm going on.
Exactly. Yeah. There's no question.
George Orwell.
Yeah, but you know, I think that I think when we look at it, I think this local election here, it's like it's a general election. And
yeah,
many things that are happening on the UNC platform, it more seem like a general election issues as opposed to a local government election issues.
Yeah.
The PNM platform is issues that's already passed in the parliament, and they try to make that an issue as part of local government election, local government reform. And I don't know how people buying into that this election is based on local government reform. Like after the election, and the are elected, are they going to make any change to the laws? They can't make change to the laws.
Yes. Listen, man, people have to think. People are not thinking.
Correct.
That's why they are being duped and being fed all kinds of hogwash.
They're not exercising the psychic muscle.
Correct.
So Rawson says the PEP is the change the country needs that points away from the same old business as usual. Things of change.
Yeah, but all of these changes that we are talking about, is 2025 is going to make the difference. What happens on Monday is not going to make a difference one way or another.
Yeah. Mohan Prasad said Rowdy go send a pre-action protocol letter to himself just now.
All of that.
Oh God. So folks, if you're new in the village, we normally put closing comments. So all the new people, if you want to put a closing comment, you can put a closing comment in the chat. Nadia, Takesha, Rawson, Balroop, vote NTA for real change. Hey, Balroop is an NTA boy. Balroop, welcome, boy. Vote NTA for real change. And listen, I think for me, as an outsider looking in, I think the people of Trinidad and Tobago need to send the PNM a message. I think the PNM needs a message because they have distanced themselves from the people on the ground, especially the people who have supported the PNM for many years. Many years. And the only way you could send PNM a message is through an election. Because they don't listen to you otherwise. They don't listen to you. They could care less about you. However, when you send a message to them through an election, all of a sudden, they change their ways. So,
or they victimize you like they did in Tobago.
Or they victimize you, right? Correct is right. So Trinidad, Margot, Takesha, all the regulars, put a closing comment in the chat. Teresa, Mohan, put closing comments in the chat, all of you. We really appreciate all of you coming in here. I know many of you come in, with respect to Philip, but also tell a friend to tell a friend. We have other PEP people in here too. We have Trinidad Margot, who's been here for a long time. We have Kylie, who's a PEP. Hey, Albert Montano is PEP or PDP or UNC?
I think he's PNM still, yeah.
No. Albert
no, he's PNM still. He just want them like you to change.
No, Albert is not PNM. I could tell you Albert.
I'm telling you he's PNM and he want them to change.
I feel Albert is DLP. Oh
no.
No. Albert is NAR. You still at them?
No, Albert is TPP.
No, that's at the Tobago party, Albert.
Right, so that's who he is.
No, Albert is NAR. NAR still in existence?
I have no idea.
I think the answer is NAR for that.
So I tell you folks, we had a let me see if I could play any quick videos here. Hold on. Let me see what I have here in storage here. Let me
All
see.
you hear, C19 on the rise again, huh?
What is that?
C19.
C19?
Vid on the rise again.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, let's see that they have a let's see this. But I'm not going to show this. But listen to this, right? I want to tell the UNC and PNM people something, right? Or they have to stop highlighting something that happens to like a PNM council or something, because sometimes the same thing may happen to a UNC or PNM people. And here's the example. They say was this one person who's going up for council in a UNC. I think she's from Lavantel, and she was caught showing her gun, right? Brandishing her gun, right? And the PNM people showing that. Then there was a PNM councillor who had on bikini. She was, clantily clad, so to speak, right? And I mean, I didn't see a problem with it, right? But them little things is mistakes that people have made, in their lives, right? And now the PNM people is calling for her to resign, and the UNC people was calling for that other young lady to resign, right? So, I mean, sometimes I understand the politics. I do understand it. But sometimes, we have to go above the fray. I mean, it's not good for a person to be brandishing a gun. I don't know if it's a toy gun or if it's a real gun. But I think the politics have gotten and you know what it is though? The problem is that the leaders are not setting a good example. It's called SAGE, SAGE, set a good example. Our leaders are not setting a good example. Not. Yeah? You're not setting a good example. So if you are UNC, your leader not setting a good example, but you will be silent. You wouldn't say anything. You know why? Because as a UNC, if the PNM leader is doing all kind of dotishness, or they wouldn't say nothing because he's a PNM. I hope PEP and PDP and all the other people hold the leader accountable. That will make your party better.
And hope too.
Yeah, the party, but hold them accountable. Mohan says, Wall Street, nobody showed the PNM councillor. All those pictures of her was TikTok on her page. Well, no, Mohan, I didn't see it. I didn't see it on her TikTok page. I saw it on other people's page. Jay-Z say, you're looking in the mirror, you're seeing your reflection. Right? Gabriel says, if UNC can welcome back Jack, who are they to tell anyone to resign? Oh, God! Gabriel, welcome. I'm telling you, boy, you think it's easy? It ain't easy, but I mean, we fighting political like in the gutter, boy. It's gutter politics.
Of course, it's gutter politics.
No, it's gutter politics. If you jump in my yard and you're going to thief a mango, I go shoot you. You know what I mean? The kind of rhetoric, it just seems to be getting worse and worse and worse. And nobody will try, well, not nobody. People who support the other party, right, supposed to tell the leader, boss, that's not right.
Yep.
We're going to go for a quick patient identification. And some, hurry up now, Philip Live right on now. Pimp link up going on. All right, Hailey, we go hurry up. Let's go for quick station identification. It's in the village of the DAG Triplets on WZYE. ID or read more. Just imagine that.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
It's in the village with the DAG Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. My closing comment is, I'm slowly becoming the person I should have been a long time ago. I'm slowly becoming the person I should have been a long time ago. From where I said, this is it. The clock on the wall said, that's all I like to say, but I've got to do. Remember, hard work beats talent. When talent does not work hard, with every 60 seconds of anger, you lose happy. See you. Same WZYE time, same WZYE channel. Later. Right there.
Okay, I just want to say that to Trinidad and Tobago, the voters coming up on Monday, is it? Your political leaders will know your priorities only if and when and again if those priorities begin to show up in the polls. And for you who don't want to vote, bad officials are elected by good citizens who do not vote. And if you don't vote, you are ignoring history and giving away your future. And democracy is not just the right to vote, it is the right to live in dignity. Diana Benskin, your poet, and your ambassador. Auf Wiedersehen, my beloved people. Till we see again.
Thank you, Diana. Go ahead, Tommy.
Yeah, I'll begin on a light note. To the person who invented zero, thanks for nothing. Anyways, like I always say, you have to become that change that you want to see. Remember, you are the man in the mirror. And when you look in the mirror and you don't like what you see, do not blame the mirror. Like I always say, do not look down on a person unless you're giving them a hand up. Remember, I love you all, and I'd like to see you next time, so be safe out there.
So Mohan says, Wall Street, who in Pep could tell Philip anything? You never hear you cuss all them up already? Tell them they are nothing without him. Okay. You might say the same thing about Rowley to him. And Kamala Prasad, the so. Closing comments. A very spirited program tonight, one of the best. I like Philip. Hey, Eugene get back your phone late tonight. Yeah? What's that? I didn't even read that. Let me see. Trinidad Marvel says, this is not the other shows in Trinidad. Respect is granted to anyone in here. So behave in kind. And Trinidad Margot, full 100. So, you know, Mohan, we don't really use them kind of acronyms in here, right? We don't use them kind of acronyms in here. We just get full respect in here. We have people from different parties in here. We don't use that. We don't encourage that in here. Because if we don't encourage it, we can encourage other people to do that. All right? It's all one love in here. We support different parties. We have our agendas. We talk, we read, but we respect people inside of here. We don't want to be like them other chats where you can carry and people don't cuss in here. Nobody cuss in here. Guys, just us. We are just different. Respect is important. Yeah, Nessie, you're right. Agree to disagree, that's maturity. Yeah, we agree to disagree all the time here. No matter time I had to pull up highly from Pep. Oh God. I pull up Vonnie Roberts. I pull up Montano. Right? Janice said, it appears that the Pep is revved up for change and are behind the people of TNT. They may be the change we want to see. We need to send a message the country deserves and demand it. Listen, Denise, I agree that the country deserves a change, you know. Teresa says, this show is surprisingly an objective one. The country needs change, but race politics will stifle this change. Teresa, I gotta say, yeah, if you join us on a nightly basis and you tell other people, you will see that in here, that's why we call ourselves the village. We are very, very objective. And most of the time, we go based on facts. We don't like to make stuff up. We don't
Bacchanal and confusion.
Yeah. I mean, we go get a little titille every once in a while.
And you might find Denise, Denise is her name?
Teresa.
Teresa, you might find that sometimes even the hosts, we disagree on air, but we are respectful of each other.
Absolutely. That's so important for us. You know what I mean? Takesha says, it's always a pleasure in the village commenting or not. Be safe and bless all my villagers. Ansem, Diana, Tommy, keep up the great work. And people don't be fooled and fall for none of their gimmicks. Okay?
Yeah. Nah, they ain't tell me good night yet, I'm vexed with you right now.
Hey.
Nadia? I know what Nadia doing.
I think because I have Stormy at camp, she mad with me.
Rawson says, the NTA Connect masquerade has changed because the UNC is not all one. Gary Griffith will do anything for power. He's missing that big paycheck. Okay. He says he's a strategist. Gabriel says, why local government election not on the same level as a GE, general election? PEP has shown that they are for the people and country and will actually get things done. When citizens see this, it will affect the general election. That's the idea. Look, I hope that some of these parties can be a shining light of change. I don't know about Diana and the PDP. I mean, I don't know about the PDP. Diana, I'm sorry.
Who? PD who?
That's a good friend, Mr. Duke.
Yeah, he ain't my friend no more. He said he ain't coming. He no longer interested, but he wanted to come the other day, though.
No, we invite him after the local election.
Oh, shoot.
We sent him an invitation to come after the local election.
Oh, shoot.
Eiley says, together we aspire, together we achieve, inspires faith in the world, which leads to an enjoyable, glad tomorrow. Yeah, full 100. Mohan says Philip Empowerment Party will win the election in 20.
In 20 when?
Yeah. That's a joke.
Hey, you never know, A sleeping dog may just come and lie and teeth the bone, You watch it, Watch it.
So we're gonna go to the anthem song.
I thought you were going to go out, not a damn vote for that. Or you do that Saturday, okay? Or vote them out.
There's a PNM song,
I know. Vote them out.
Yeah. Anyway.
I know, but it's satirical.
Yeah. I know I'll go out with. I'll go with chocolates.
Okay, everybody cussing the PNM.
Everybody cussing the PNM. Shoki, come and tell them. All right, folks. Good night. Take care.
Look here, boy, and to do something for your country. I opening a political party. Time for you to make the decision at the next general election and join the leaders of our nation. When I read them Sunday newspapers with all them cussing customer neighbors, I tell myself I am not too person. Tell him control like he joined the line. Martin did cussing the behind. And I'll call that for mine and I change my mind. Cause I find everybody of a new thing. They think cussing the PNM. Fine and anthem. If you only come a problem. cussing the PNM. I saw reason in danger, filling the house near the water, and you see them, you see it burning water. Go and carry down to ambush them, who can get them in people and them, still they cussing the PNM. It's only kites on them from the review friend, who not cussing the PNM. Sweet music. I am no privy to no party. I am not for what's in the crowd. I am representing to be ANR and Panda. When you see them later, they had a few husbands down here. But since Brooklyn and Nine, I think all of them is coming right. Even what they say in lying. And on the TV and the radio, man call it from fighting my yarrow to cuss rowdy good pen in Tobago. Everybody out of seeds, rust and brandy, cussing the PNM. And blame the system, bringing love and mayhem, but cussing the PNM. Like people on the road in danger, and keeping all your gun to cover. Anytime you see him iron it, government had to change laws to stop them from keeping your vote and proper pen, cause they cussing the PNM. It's only kites on them like they PNM, who not cussing the PNM. Sweet music. School children fighting is a problem. Up in mayhem, around mayhem, everything is a big problem. We help them and stop them. Everything might be the problem, but they still cussing the PNM. Even give you off the water, man fighting with the paddle and water, cussing up all in the war. And on the street, you know me, if you see people fighting, you see, fighting because of the UNC. Everybody from the country to brandy, cussing the PNM. Hail and hearty, even the sickly, cussing the PNM. Up, down, everybody fighting to get them. Nobody running and even looking up and hating, they come down and open me, but they cussing the PNM. It's only KPM who not cussing the PNM.